decisions. Made it to this position, and so my disposition. Not seeing no limits, killing the competition. Yeah, I'm a beast, now I'm released. Ready to feast, calm and peace, not the least.
What's going on, people? It is Saturday and next podcast is live. Guys, we got an exciting show planned for you guys. Some really hot topics that kind of spread across the spectrum of gaming. And like I said, I am really excited. Ryan McCaffrey's talking out his ass again. And a possibility that Sony and Nintendo have been breaking the law. But first, we got to get into the intros. First on the list is that guy that's just trying to get some respect for some quality gameplay. I am talking about Predator!
I'm so disappointed in the fans of this podcast right now for not voting for me last week. I'm going to go and put that out there on blast right now. I should have won at least 4 of these motherfuckers. Shut up, Don. Y'all, I'm happy to be here. I'm still a little under the weather.
Are you eating?
I'm sick, man. I gotta have something in my throat.
Man, that's why people don't vote on your gameplay.
Yeah, you're rude. You rude bastard.
I didn't know he was going to put me first, man.
Dude, that's the thing. It's the wheel, man. You never know who's going to go first or whatnot, dude.
Obviously, I keep coming in last, so I don't know why.
Well,
put that out there. But
Fred,
happy to be here, man. I'm still a little sick, and if I don't talk a lot, I've been sick since last podcast, to be honest with you. So,
you know, anytime Pred says if I don't talk a lot, you can expect him to really come in and chime in on these topics. Man. So, yo, Pred, I hope you get better. Yo, I'm glad that you're able to join the show because, like I said, with some of these topics, man, I really want to hear your opinions and your input. So it's good to have you on, dude.
I'm happy to be here as always.
Nice.
Shut up, Don.
Next on the list, and I'm going to introduce him now because he has the winning gameplay from last week. Guys, it is time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring, the Don.
Hey, what's up, guys? People still love that Sea of Thieves, even though it has no content, right? So
there's no editing to this. It's just straight gameplay. Like you just randomly collected this and it won, man. I have no idea.
Yeah,
how that.
I just go in raw. It's all good.
Oh man, I had a joke with Mrs. KTR and everything, but I'm gonna skip over that, man. Can't wait to get into the topics with you, but we got to go on to the next guy, which for some rhyme or reason, man, next podcast panel is gonna get really upset with this guy's boss. You know, coming live from the 405, our brother K Mega.
The true original king of gameplay is back, and I have given my peasants time.
They're excited to see your gameplay this week, right?
Yeah, they're excited because I didn't bring none. I didn't bring no gameplay for the last 2 weeks, so I could have my subjects finally get their chance to do. So go ahead and vote for Pred. Don't matter what bot shows. Don't matter what Don shows.
It don't matter, man. You're supposed to vote for best gameplay. You're not supposed to vote for the name.
I don't want handouts, man. I want to
look. Just without K Mega's gameplay, the show isn't the same. We all know that. So I mean, but I guarantee you, if you put my name on the list, I'd still win because they know that it would have been fire if I had the time.
Dude, I was gonna put some quick clips of like Family Guy, like not even gameplay, and put your name under it and have people see if they would vote for that for best gameplay, man. I was gonna do that experiment. I decided not to, brother.
Because if you lost, that would have been really.
I would have lost.
Man, gaming is the only one that needs button prompts for the A button.
I was so close to just putting Uno footage up 15 minutes.
Dude, that's what I was waiting for, man.
So close,
I thought you was gonna do that.
I decided not to do that to the fans out there that don't want to watch me just playing Uno all fucking day.
Hey, man, I'm telling you,
again, it's a podcast. We got to entertain the folks too. So
right. You should have did it. But anyway, glad to be here as always, man. Just got off work not too long ago, and I'm exhausted as hell. Not only from work, but having that long ass GRG last night, man. That's like a freaking marathon.
What's the drink of the day? What's the drink of the night, K Megan?
What am I drinking tonight?
Yeah.
I'm drinking what is this?
You don't even know.
Kentel One vodka. Kentel One vodka.
Kettle One?
Kettle One vodka.
There you go. There you
I can't
go.
even read. I'm so damn tired. I can't even read today.
It's some calligraphy there. It's a little fancy in the wording.
Yeah.
No, it's his own handwriting on a mason jar.
pretty much. And speaking of vodka, big shout out to Dakota Vodka or the cock. How you say? His name?
Wow.
Vodka, what?
The
Cock?
Is it Dakota? No, motherfucker, stop it.
We don't know vodka like that, man. I don't know.
Yeah, man, he won. He won on our Patreon last night, man. It was whoever wanted to get God of War, the new God of War. We was giving it away, and he says, "I don't want that trash. Give me State of Decay 2." I said, "I got you." So, you know what I'm saying? So he's on the same boat as me. Y'all
Man, you can't give it away.
I can't even give it away. So not to some of the listeners. So I'm happy about that. But anyway. Let's get on with the show, man. I'm always happy to be here.
Well, Mega, since you're talking and you brought up God of War, and I saw a couple videos out there, I guess we could say the Crumb side of YouTube putting out petitions and whatnot in terms of you disliking God of War. Let's go into the God of War reviews. I mean, it's not a big topic, so it's something we can start off with to kind of warm up or whatnot. 9.5s across the board, 95s. You got people giving it 10 out of 10. Yeah. All this good stuff, man. What do you think about the reviews, and what do reviews mean for you when you're looking at a video game, man?
Reviews mean jack shit to me. Because it's turned into a popularity contest, and since PlayStation is popular right now, everything that they're doing,
kind of like gameplay challenges, man.
Maybe not. No, because you got the up. You don't have just certain people just jumping up. Like it's more than like 30, 40 people that comes out and votes, and it's different individuals. They're not part of the media and things like that votes for our gameplay. But for this, look, the game looks beautiful. I've seen special footage. I see all day in here. You know what I'm saying? What's up, fraud? And and there was other people that was there that seen this some gameplay that wasn't released. And for me, look, it just confirmed why I am not into the game. Let me repeat that. Why I am not into the game.
Why do you have to repeat it though? You said it
because
I've had
so many people on my throat, man, because they think that I'm doing this for as a stunt. And I've been saying this well before anybody was even expecting anything great from God of War. You see what I'm saying? So I was just looking for me, it's just not what I want what I love the God of War franchise to be. And
like
that's
that
all
crazy mayhem kick ass.
Yeah,
like, I got you, man.
Yeah. So regardless, but I'm happy that a lot of people are excited for the game. I hope the game does well, because I always will have God of War will always have a place in my heart because it's one of my favorite franchises. I just think that this game dropped the ball. But look, I mean, it's really popular, and I mean, and it looks like this is going to be a big hit for Sony. So look, you can't hate on the popularity of the game and probably the success of what it's going to do and what it's going to sell. But I mean, it is what it is. But I still won't trust anybody that comes out and say a game is a 10. I mean, how many 10s have we had in this generation? And then you go back to last gen and how many 10s we had.
They were hashtag sparse last generation, man.
I mean, that's the thing to me, is like, not everything that is semi-popular or overly popular shouldn't be a 10. I mean, look, like when people go back and they talk about Zelda, they'll say Zelda was an excellent game, but there will be Zelda fans, I'll tell you that this new Zelda wasn't a 10. That they had shortcomings on the game, and this game will have the same type of shortcomings. And when we go back, they'll say it wasn't a 10 either.
Classics are even a 10 sometimes.
What?
What now?
Well, I mean, like some classics are not even 10s, right? I mean,
right.
Honestly, think about it. Like,
I don't think any game's a 10, man. To be really honest,
very rare that there should be a game to get that. It's 10 should be special. You see what I'm saying? It should be like up there in the echelon of like some of the, like when you talk about movies, like some of the best movies ever made. You can't just say right now we're looking at like Black Panther. I love Black Panther, but Black Panther is not a 10. But that's kind of like how the hype of certain things, how people will get, it's a 10. It's the best thing ever since sliced bread. And then when Avengers Infinity War comes out, it's a 10. It's the best thing that ever came out. I mean, come on. When Spider-Man come out, it's a 10. Everything comes out. And
it dilutes it. You know what I'm saying?
It loses any type of what's the word I'm trying to think of? Stability. What'd you say? What's the word?
Credibility.
Credibility. Thank you. It loses credibility when you say that a game is perfect. When we all know that there are very few games that have been perfect for all the years that I've been playing games, that Don's been playing games, everybody on this panel has been playing games. And for the listeners, I think that the game will be fantastic for the fans that are anticipating this. But I think that if they really had a truth serum, they would actually say for themselves, no, I don't think this game is going to be a 10.
Now, Mega, one more question before I move down to the rest of the panel here. Now, you shared your views about, reviews for games. What do you think about the people out there on social media who are saying, this is my game of the year right now, just based on the reviews? Nobody that's in the gaming community that doesn't have like one of those media passes or something like that, they haven't played this game yet, but there's people out there just saying, yeah, this is their game of the year, all this good stuff. They haven't even played the game yet, man. Like, what do you think about that type of hype right there?
Again, it's just in that same type of, what's hot right now is the biggest and the best thing. I mean, just go back to last year. There was so many people that was saying that Horizon Zero Dawn was going to win Game of the Year. I said that game was not going to win Game of the Year. They were saying about that Persona was going to win Game of the Year. And then I had this same type of I don't know if you want to call it hate or assault. I don't know, when I said that the game was niche, and then that turned into like the worst word of all time. I don't know why.
That word got thorns on it for some
people. Yeah, and it was, so you're disrespecting Persona. No, I'm not. I just said I said it probably will win best RPG for the year, and it did. But Zelda has been a long awaited franchise to come back. The Switch is here, and people finally got excited with Nintendo again, and everything seemed right about this game coming out, and that was the game that won Game of the Year. God of War, I feel that it will be a nomination, because I think more so for what I love God of War for is for the action-packed, for the action. I think what the game will be a nominee because of its story. So I don't see that game winning Game of the Year. There's too many hot games that's coming out, and the behemoth of them all right now, just if we're going by theories, is Red Dead Redemption 2, and that game right there will have a lot to say about what's going on with what's in gaming when it comes to awards.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, there's a lot of Rockstar fans out there. Rockstar has created such a following. You look at all the money that GTA 5 has made. How many people are still picking up that game, which still boggle, to this day, I scratch my head. It's like, I swear every person around the world has like 3 copies of that game, even if they don't have a console. But, I don't know, let's move on down the list here. Let's hit up the developer right now, because I really want to see, in terms of a developer's mindset, like what reviews mean to him in terms of a game and how it's presented, and the review number and stuff like that. And then what do you think about the review scores in general for God of War? So Don, what's up, man?
Well, I mean, I'll come from a perspective of what I would want a product that I worked on get reviews. I would definitely want high scores, but I never would want a 10. And this may sound backwards to people, but when you give something a perfect score, you set this certain expectation that people get super hyped up beyond probably what the product can deliver. And honestly, you can set the consumer for disappointment. So I'm not a big fan of perfect scores on any game. I just don't trust them. To be honest with you, it just shows that somebody that's not looking at things objectively. And it doesn't mean the game's not good or anything like that. It doesn't mean it doesn't deserve high scores or anything along those lines. And
now,
a good game.
Do you think a perfect score is an uneven kind of like observation of the game? Because
it's like I always look at it. Anyone gives anyone a perfect score, it's like looking at the game of rose-tinted glasses. To be honest with you, like it doesn't mean you can't have a good experience and enjoy yourself. And by all means, definitely do that with any game that comes out. But you do have to take a breather and take a step back, and you have to kind of just look at it from a perspective: is there flaws in the games? Are there some setbacks? Can you look at the thing objectively and not through those rose-tinted lenses? Because that's what your audience is looking for, right? Mm-hmm. Just as much as they want to buy a good game, they also kind of want to know what to expect from the game. And so when you hear things that are perfect, and no one points out maybe some of the flaws in the game, then you kind of feel taken for a spin, both from the develop, because usually the developer gets all the shit, right? It's usually not the reviewer that gets the problem. It's usually the developer sees all the heat. So that's the way I kind of look at it. In regards to that, I know it's a different perspective than what people would think, but
I would think the developer would catch all the heat. They're the ones who made the game. The publisher was just putting the money out there in the marketing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. When everyone says it's perfect and it's not perfect, then that's when people lose their shit, right? I mean, it's kind of like if we can look no further and see Thieves, right? Where people are all excited, all hyped up, and they set this expectation it's going to have all this stuff, and then the final product comes out and it doesn't have it, right? So therefore it instantly sucks. No, it lands somewhere in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't, it's by all means not a perfect game. By all means, it's not a crap game, right? It's a game that has a different audience. It's a different type of game, right? And so it's the same thing with God of War. I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't think it's the God of War I'm going to be excited for. I guess the best analogy I can give on the game itself, my view, and this is only from the outside in. I haven't played the game. I don't really know. I feel like it's going to be like the Last Jedi of the series. And what I mean by that is, if you look at Star Wars, everyone built their ideal lives of Luke Skywalker, right? Everybody envisioned who Luke Skywalker was over a grand period of time, and they had this investment of what the character was going to be. Mm-hmm. And so when that character didn't meet the expectations of what people imagined, a lot of people flipped out on what that story was. And I kind of feel the same way about God of War. I'm not going to flip out. I'm not going to create videos. I'm not going to talk trash on Twitter or anything like that. But the way I view Kratos, it's not how I viewed it. I didn't view Kratos as an out of shape father figure, right? Like that's the way I kind of look at what Kratos has become. And so, and it's not like there's anything wrong with the type of gameplay it has, or if somebody wants to be cinematics, but it just doesn't fit the mold of God of War for me. Honestly, it resembles other games more than it does God of War, in my view. And so that's just kind of where I'm at. And it's gonna be one of those things. People enjoy it. Definitely play the game. If you want to buy it, definitely buy it. Support the developers if they made a good product, but it's definitely not a day one buy for me. Maybe it's something I'll pick up down the road.
Now, Don, when it comes to Sony exclusives, in my opinion, there's been sort of a cut, copy, and paste mentality when it comes to third person, over the shoulder, kind of like really story driven experience here. I was wondering if you have seen that when it comes to the PlayStation exclusives, and how can people really say that God of War is going in such a new direction if there is a copy and paste mentality going on with these exclusives right now?
I think it's a new direction for God of War, not necessarily a new direction for Sony titles.
I got you, but is that still fair to say? Even though, I don't know, I haven't seen this in the industry when it comes to a certain platform. Usually, I've seen a pretty wide variety of exclusives. I know Xbox, throughout the 360 era was known as the shooter box, the dude bro, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I feel like it had a wide variation. It wasn't all first-person shooters that were exclusive. I mean, we had Fable, Forza, I could go on and on with types of other games that were exclusive to the platform, first-party developers and stuff like that. So is it fair to say that even though the story, it's a new direction for the God of War franchise, is it fair to really say it's a new direction if it's like a copy and paste scenario right now, man?
I don't think it's copy and paste. I mean, they developed a whole new game. I don't think that's fair. But they do. I think the publisher has a lot of influence. At least that's what it looks like from the outside in. I think that would be a fair assessment.
Okay.
Or they borrow from one another. Maybe they're inspired by other teams within and Sony, it's really hard to kind of narrow down
what's
the
difference between inspiration and basically almost taking the exact like aesthetic and putting it into your game, man.
Well, if it's not broke, you know what I'm saying? Why fix it? If it's not broke, why fix it?
I get that, but I mean, that's, who knows what it is? I don't know if it's the publisher. I don't know. I'm just trying to be objective here, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
Not trying to pass judgment. I'm just trying to say, like,
well, I'm trying to pin you in a corner right now and get you to say things like.
But there's similarities, right? I mean, we can't say there's not.
Dude,
like,
have you ever seen this before? When it comes to like one publisher, you know what I'm saying? They have their own platform, and seeing almost like a copy and paste mentality that spreads across.
I think copy and paste is just a little heavy, though. I mean, if you look at Ubisoft, they have a lot of games that feel very similar to one another. Right, like Ubisoft has that. Does that mean they're copying and pasting as well? No, they're
aesthetic wise. I can definitely see what you're saying, man.
But aesthetic, but also sometimes some of the gameplay. Like I can see, like when I play Wildlands and I play what it was the one that was in New York. I forgot the name of that one. Division. I can't help to feel like they feel very similar to one another, right? And
all right.
So I mean. The same publisher, same sort of ideas, similar aesthetics, in a lot of ways. So, I mean, I see it. I mean,
how is Halo, Gears, and
I know I've seen it. Don't even look. I've seen this dude sit here and saying stuff.
He loves my channel, by the way.
Yeah, he got upset with me one day because he was trying to post stuff in my chat, and I was just like, okay, you're done with that. And so he got all pissy and started calling me names. But, I mean, you cannot put the Halo and Gears and Forza in the same category, because one is a driver, is a racer. Gears is more serious, gritty, grimy, and Halo is like a
sci-fi shooter.
Yeah, it's a shooter, and $1 billion shooter at that.
They all use different engines too, so I mean, obviously they're different games. I'm not. See, and one of the things, I'm not here to pick on the game. Like, I want people to play it.
Dude, to me, it looks like a total. It looks like a total package single player game. If you like the story, that's great. If you don't like it, I mean, you can't deny that it looks like a fully fledged AAA single player experience, man.
No, it looks great. And look, I don't understand how so many people get in their feelings because there's a person that don't like. There are so many people that will tell me that Sea of Thieves is trash, right? And I'm not going after them because they don't like Sea of Thieves, or if they make jokes and say the Kraken is lacking. Okay, that is your opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's your opinion. What you eat don't make me shit. So why would I care about what you think at the end of the day? I'm not. So what? You shouldn't be mad. Wouldn't matter what I think about God of War.
Well, there's a couple of people.
Love it.
There's a couple of people I've noticed, trend wise, people that are skeptical. I would say because I don't hate God of War. I just skeptical.
There's a lot of people that's skeptical.
Yeah, exactly. Because
come out and say it.
Yeah, because it's a departure, and that's what all it is. It's I'm skeptical. And the people I think there really are skeptical are people that really love what Kratos was originally. The people that they're invested in the franchise, they actually enjoy the game and what it was, previously. So those are the people I see that are skeptical of the franchise. They're people that really did enjoy it in the first place. So I think K-Mega, you fall into that category. I fall into that category, and it's just not what I picture Kratos to be in his old age. I don't know what I pictured, but this is not the game that I pictured.
Here's the thing. I'm looking into getting the game, but I have been this way even through the 360 gen. Maybe not before that. Before that, I was so young that I was like, I have to have every game that I absolutely want day one, no doubt. I didn't care. Like, I had to get it. And throughout the 360 generation, I even said Castlevania, Lord of Shadows, it was my absolute favorite game last gen, and I did not pick that up day one because it was a single player experience. When it comes to God of War, I'm not picking that up either because it's the single player experience. So one game where I would pick up day one right now is Spider-Man, and because I have just so much nostalgia. My entire childhood was like reading comics, and Spider-Man was on the top of that list. So I want to play that game as soon as it's available. But other than that, most single player experiences, I'm like, you know what? I don't have to get that right now. And when it comes to God of War, that's what it is. So Predator, what do you think about these reviews, man? And what do game reviews mean to you as a gamer as well, dude?
I don't really put a lot of weight into reviews because I'd rather play it myself and see what it feels like and how I feel about the game. I will take a little bit of consideration. Like if I see a lot of negatives about a certain game, it may deter me a little bit, but like a perfect score is not going to make me buy the game. Like I'm not completely interested in Spider-Man, where I know a lot of people are, but I was interested in God of War because I really have slept on this franchise. I didn't play a lot of the earlier versions of the game, so it's a reboot for me, so it's going to be a new, fresh experience for me, and it looks like a good game. So it looks like the type of game I'm going to play. So I'm interested in that aspect of it. But if it sucks, and I think it sucks, I'll say it sucks. So I'll be the one to say that. I won't let somebody, a bunch of random motherfuckers tell me if a game's good or not. Because
let me ask you this: so what holds more weight to you, Pred? A perfect score or 9.5?
Neither one.
Neither. No, curious. I mean, that's your.
No.
Your
Neither one of them.
So,
like if I like when I look at a game, like for me, the scores don't mean shit to me, right? Mm-hmm. I look at a game and I see gameplay of it, and that's what my decision is based off of. If I see gameplay, even the mechanics may suck, like I will figure that out on my own. But if it looks good on screen and I see that it's something I'm interested in, it's in the genre that I'm interested in. It's like, I like my third-person shooters, I like my action-adventure games, I like a few RPGs. If it shows something in it and I listen to the developers and I see what they're talking about the game, and if that interests me, then I'll buy it. I've never bought a game based off review scores. It's either been off of nostalgia or just a fucking want, I just want to play it. Like, and I know there's unpopular games out there that I played that I loved, and some people just thought they were dog shit. And there's some popular games out there that people loved and I couldn't stand, and I thought they were shitty. I wasn't a fan of. I've never been a fan of the Call of Duty franchise. My friends play it. Me neither. My friends play it, but and I buy it because of them. But like, if it was just me and I was only gaming by myself, I would have never bought Call of Duty ever. Any of them. They're just not my type of game. I love what is it? Battlefield. I like the Battlefield series. Like the first couple of games that came out, I wasn't really fond of, but 3 and 4, I loved. And a lot of my friends didn't like it. It was too realistic. It was too, they want a jet flying in their face and shit like that. But I loved it. So, scores don't really dictate how I feel as a consumer. It's all about what I'm interested in and what piques my interest. I want to spend $60 on the game. It's going to be $60 that I want to spend on a game that I want to play. And regardless if it's just 10, like Zelda, I was not a fan of this last Zelda. It won Game of the Year, I think. I was not a fan of it. It's Mario, the new Mario that came out, not a fan of it. So I know it got a lot of high scores and people loved it to death, and I could not stand either one of them. I've only gotten through maybe 15% of Zelda. My Switch sits here because
So what Pred's saying is, if I want your opinion, I'll ask for
it. There you go. And I will not shoot you any bullshit. If I don't like a game, I don't care how popular it is. If I don't like it, I just don't like it. That's just me.
Let us know what you think about God of War when you get it.
I will, because I've been looking forward to it. And if it, I mean, from initial, and I almost hate to say this right now on the podcast, but initial appearances, it just reminds me of Rise with a kid. That's what I see right now.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, because there's people that like Rise,
and I liked Rise, but it just seems like Rise to me. So, and maybe it's because of the camera angle. Maybe it's just the lore that they have in the game, but that's what it looks like to me. But what it plays like, I may get immersed in the story. Like, I wasn't really a fan of Hellblade at first, but that was just going off of looks. But once I got it and played it, I was like, holy shit, this game's actually really good. So, you never know how you feel about a game until you get the control in your hands and play it. And and this is why Game Pass is so fucking amazing. Like, you can try games you've never played before. That you thought were
if Sony did a Game Pass, I'd play it. But you know what I'm saying, I would give it a try. But I'm not paying $60 for a game that I am just not excited for. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Well, let me make this point. Okay, the top 11 rated exclusives for Sony. You got The Last of Us that had 95. You had God of War now that has a 94, 95. Persona 5, 93. Uncharted 4, 93, Bloodborne 92, Shadow, the Shadow remake 91, Flower 91, Horizon Zero Dawn 89, Nier Automata 88, Neo 88, Uncharted Collection 86. And if you guys remember, I can't remember what that score was, but it was in the high 80s for Until Dawn, which I've praised Until Dawn. I like Until Dawn, right? But if you remember, that game reviewed higher than Ultimate Gears. And I was I already was skeptical about the reviews when we was getting into this generation. But once I seen that was it for me. Like, I can't believe this, because you're gonna give a remake of The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? You got The Last of Us, a 95. But you're going to take the remake, the game that got Gears to the point that it got a lesser score than Until Dawn. I knew that it was bullshit. I knew it. And remember, God of War 3 had a higher score than the Ultimate Gears, because they both came out in the same year. And I said, what? So yeah, I knew. I was like, user scores, all that, Metacritic. That's it. That, man, forget that. That's crazy.
Yeah, here's the deal. This is something I've been like holding off, waiting for tonight's show to say. When it comes to reviews, I feel reviews are a personal thing. For people that are going out there and trying to throw numbers in people's faces, oh, this game is a 9.5. Well, they gave it a 10 out of 10. There you go. There's your proof. This is the game of the year. To those people who like that title, that could be. But it's a personal thing. A game that somebody feels is a perfect game or game of the year, another person right to the left of them is going to feel like the game is dog shit. So if you find reviewers that seem to have that same idea of games as you do, then go ahead and follow them, trust their views and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, you are a consumer, you are a gamer taking your hard-earned money in most cases and spending it on a product. So at the end of the day, you got to be happy with it no matter what. If you're using numbers to fuel a console war, you're not doing the industry or yourself any type of good. You know what I'm saying? If you just want your preferred piece of plastic to have these better numbers and you try to tout it off, like, you're not doing anything good for the industry. When it comes down to it, if you feel like the reviewer that you're listening to has kind of like that same mentality as you, then, you know, I would listen to them. Otherwise, you know, you look at the gameplay, you hear about the mechanics, you hear about kind of like the outline of the story without hearing the full story, because then you just ruined it for yourself. And then you base your opinion off that. But throwing numbers in people's faces isn't going to do any good for anybody. Does anybody disagree with me on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, your view is your view, right? So you're trying to align yourself with a view of somebody that's played the game and you haven't. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Just because they share the same sort of opinion as you doesn't make it valid. It's just you guys share a similar opinion.
Well, we just had I think it was Mr. Garcia in the chat just before. He said somebody allies gave it a 10 out of 10. He's like, end of story, and it's like, well, that's the end of your story, which is awesome. I'm glad that's
just, well, anytime I see a 10 out of 10, and this is with any outlet, like any game, it doesn't really matter what it is. Like, obviously it brings it up because we're talking about God of War, but when I see someone give something a perfect score, then I look at them and say, okay, they cannot look at these things objectively, so why do I need to keep going to their site for their opinion? You know, because I find something wrong with all games, even my favorite games that I've played. There are things that could be improved. And maybe that's the mentality I have, because I have to have that mentality, otherwise I won't make good content myself. But I don't know, I just don't trust a perfect review score on anything. It doesn't mean, and it sucks, because it doesn't mean the game's bad, it doesn't mean it doesn't deserve a high score. It just, I just don't believe in perfect scores.
Don, let me just huge shout out to Musty Mon in the chat. He said Metacritic is statistics more than just opinion. Dude,
it's an average.
Try to wrap your head around this. it is a statistic of opinions. All reviews are opinions. If your opinion lines up with that reviewer, if you've watched them over and over and over again and you've seen that you guys fall under that same category, then you trust in their opinion. Now, the only other things would be like performance issues and stuff like that, which is kind of like what I watch reviews for as well. I want to see if there's a trending like performance issue or something like that as well, you know, within the game. But other than that, I mean, it's you spending money on something that you need to enjoy. So if you're touting these numbers just for some console war bullshit, you're not doing yourself any bit of justice, and you're not doing the community any bit of justice as well. With that being said, guys, I do want to move on. I want to talk about, believe it or not, I want to talk about Shenmue, guys. Sega has come out on Twitter, and they there was an article, I believe it was by GameSpot. I think I have it right here, actually. Eurogamer, my bad. Eurogamer says that Sega confirms Shenmue remasters are finally happening, and they are going to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, according to Sega, they said they're going to be offering scalable screen resolutions and PC graphics options, modern or classic control schemes, and an updated user interface. And this is for Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2. Let's hit Mega again, because I know Mega can get a little nostalgic when it comes to classic games. Mega, are you excited for Shenmue 1 and 2? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. They I just give me the 4K enhancements on the X day one buy. If it's not any type of enhancements, then I will still get it. I might even get it on the 4, but I definitely are going to get it on the X if they definitely have enhancements for the game. These are classics. Now, of course, they're to a lot of people. Now, see, this is another game, right? Like, there are a lot of people out there didn't like Shenmue. They thought the game was just basically like a walking simulator.
I'm in that boat right there.
Yeah, like, oh, you go talk to a guy and then
simulator.
Yeah, and you go walk and talk to a guy, and you're over here cutting fish for maybe about 20 minutes. But yeah, it was something about that game that was on another level to me. I enjoyed the story. I never got the chance to beat 2. I did beat 1, but it was a great game. It was graphically at that time, it was top notch. It's just a special game that I think that should gain life. And I do hope that people that supported it back in the Dreamcast, OG Xbox One days, will go back and buy this game, and then they do better with what we've seen with Shenmue 3, because that game looked like it needed a lot of work with the character models.
Well, Mega, with Shenmue 3, I got to ask you, because I don't know, like, right off the top of my head, maybe you do, or anybody else on the panel, is Sega publishing Shenmue 3 as well, or is it going to a different publisher?
See, now this is the thing about that I don't know, but remember, what was it, 2014? That then they had it was 2014, 2015. I can't remember the actual date, but then they had the guy that created Shenmue come out there and did a Kickstarter for PlayStation, right? And so everybody was coming to the illusion that this game was going to be a PlayStation exclusive, and so obviously he made some money from it, but then they upticked the game, the Kickstarter, to another amount because they hit the threshold, but then they kicked it up, and then after that you didn't hear anything else about it. So what this is telling me is that the old classics is coming to the Xbox as well. That Shenmue 3 will most likely be a multi-plat and will come over.
That's a really good point, man.
Well,
so Sega owns the rights, just so you guys know.
Right? Yeah. So
what happened on that Sony stage? They basically the original creator got permission from Sega to make this this another installment. So that's what happened there. So.
All right. Well, see, here's the thing, because Mega brought up that Kickstarter. I heard rumors that the creator of this game, with that Kickstarter money, started spending that money in all different directions, not necessarily developing the game. So, if those rumors are true, Mega, because it's been a while, people have been asking for remakes to these games for a while for this generation. Do you think some of that is to help like continue the funding the development of the third installment, man?
Maybe. I'm over here laughing at Peter Young. He said, "Come on, Mega." Shimu gave him. He said Sue gave them $20, so it's a Sony exclusive. Come on, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? Yeah. No. Okay, I lost track after reading that. What? Say that again.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Well, because like I said, gamers have been asking for kind of like a remaster of 1 and 2, especially when they announced 3. They've been asking it for like 3-4 years now. It's taken them a long time to say like, yeah, we're doing this or whatnot. And I was wondering if you think that some of it might be to fund the development for the third installment.
Oh yeah, I don't think that we'll see 3, 4 until probably next generation. I don't think that
too. Yeah, it'll give them more time that way.
Yeah, this is to get people set up and ready, and then by the beginning of the next generation, it will be available. I just think that they want to have when you got a game that you've been working on and it was a classic, and you get back on that on any type of art or whatever that you're doing, you want that's your baby, and you want it to be the best that it can be for the people that enjoyed that game. And you also want to entice a newer generation. So of course they're going to want more, as much money as possible to feed into what they're trying to do on making this game look great and be great.
Now, see, the thing here is, and I'm glad you're excited for this, but when I read the article, they said PC, graphic options. They did say, resolution scaling or whatnot. But to me, that tells me that the Xbox One X version, if I had to like put money down, it's only going to be an up-res. I feel like this project, they're not putting a lot into. They're just basically porting the game over and up-resing it. That's what I think they're doing with 1 and 2. I know they're putting it as a package, so you get 1 and 2 together. But I know, man, I'm probably talking to the wrong person on this. Even if it's just an up-res, you're still going to pick it up, man?
Yeah, I'm still going to pick it up. But like I said, I don't know what I'm going to pick it up for, because if it's just an up-res, I'll probably pick it up for the PC more so than I pick it up for.
Well, then you'll get more options. You get more graphic options.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if just those type of games to me, it's like on the same. It's not on the same tier of the mighty Tekken with me, but it is. but it's at a high tier. I mean, like that, like Shimu. You go back to Rival Schools. You know what I'm saying? Just Power Stone games like that.
Power Stone, man.
Shinden, if those like Onimushu, because that's something I don't think we didn't talk about. We talked about on GRG that Capcom is got a trademark to bring that back. Those games are legacy to me, and I will probably buy it for all three of my platforms if it does, because I just want to support that those games are important, and those games should be out there available for the public.
All right, I got you, Ben. And I'm gonna move on to Predator, but right before I do that, I just want to let you know Predator's gameplay is up right now. I hope you guys are enjoying the gameplay as we're talking the gaming news. And Mega, my gameplay is next, right after this. So
hey, Predator is killing it, man. I thought it was just gonna be Uno, but man, he's showing his mighty Division, man. Division is life,
dude.
This is how he plays Uno, actually.
I love the way his gameplay started with Assassin's Creed, man. All the particles and everything floating down like that. That was freaking awesome.
I gotta play that game. That game is just sitting there waiting on the backlog, man. That game is so.
They ain't a game for somebody that's got attention deficit disorder, man. You
That's a long game, man.
That's you got to commit to that if you're gonna play that.
I'm gonna commit to it. I'm trying to finish Final Fantasy 15, and then I'll jump on.
He beat The Witcher, so he can beat Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
you can. You just
Daz, you know it, SSX, man. You've been looking through my game clips, haven't you? Yeah. But anyway, Predator, what do you think about the announcement? Shenmue 1 and 2 coming out, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and what do you think about what K-Mega is pointing out? If these remakes are going to be, basically multi-plat on console, do you think that Shenmue 3 is going to be multi-plat as well?
I actually heard almost a year ago that it was going to be multi-plat, but I didn't really hold a lot of weight to it. Just not necessarily because the person had said it, it was just so early, you know, in the development cycle of it. So I mean, now hearing it again, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I've never played Shenmue. I've never been interested in the franchise at all. But I'll give it a look and see what it, you know, like 1 and 2, and see what, you know, the review scores look like, right? So no, I'll take, you know, I'll take the consideration of, you know, of K Mega, and I know he's played it before, played 1 and finished 2, but if he says it's a decent game, I'll at least look at the gameplay footage of it and go from there. But it's never been a franchise that's just piqued my interest, and that was when that game came out. I think that was a time when I really wasn't gaming a lot. I don't think I was deployed a lot, so I didn't have a lot of time to play. Yeah. So I missed a lot of that that time frame. So some of those games that came out around that time frame, I just completely missed out on. So I'll take a look at it and see if it's something I might be interested in. But I've, you know, when people are like, you know, crying and shit like that about Shenmue 3,
you're crying,
you know,
yo, for real.
I was like, what is this game? You know, like obviously it's something I should have played. So with them coming out with the remasters, I mean, it's definitely gonna, you know, pique my interest a little bit. But I almost hate when they do this, because this is a game that could have easily been back compat, and now, you know,
that is true, man.
Now we gotta pay for it. So
this is funding for the game.
Yeah, and you're right. It may be funding for the game, but I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those titles that I think has a lot of nostalgia for a lot of fans out there, and it could have easily been back compat on the Xbox side. And, you know, some people would have went out and rebought this game.
Was it on the original Xbox?
Yeah.
They did a port to the original Xbox. So, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And was 2 on there as well?
I don't know.
Yeah. 1 and 2 was on that. Well, because 2 came, it was on the Dreamcast first, and then it got ported over, and then 2 came over. It was actually an exclusive on the OG Xbox and Dreamcast, basically. But Dreamcast, and then Dreamcast kind of went away, and then it was exclusive on PlayStation. I mean, on Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I'll give it a look and see, but I mean, I can't say that it's on my radar right now.
Dude, I can tell you're like a fish out of water right now when it comes to this title. You're like, yeah, I guess so, but not really. I can tell, like, when it comes down to it, it might not be your game. Like, I know it's not mine, man. Like I said, I played it on the OG Xbox, and I never looked back from there. I bought it as well. And I remember my boy John was being so hyped for it. I actually let him borrow it. He was out doing forklift like career or whatnot in that game. It just wasn't for me. I'm excited for people who like it though. You know, they get at least an up-res version of it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Don, what do you think about this, man? Are you a Shenmue fan? Are you excited right now?
I'm not excited, but you know, it's a good thing we have games being preserved.
Look at this Rayman Legends, by the way, hotness right there.
Yeah, it's so zoomed out. You look like a Tic Tac right across the screen. But no, I mean, seriously, like, you know, it's not my game, but I am rooting for people to be able to play, because, you know, it is a very beloved franchise. And probably after this Kickstarter campaign's done with whatever the third installment is, probably not going to see it again, right? So it's important that we do have either a remake or a back compat or something for those people that, you know, that have those, you know, rose-tinted glasses when it comes to this game. So
I got you, man. Well, let's move on to Cliffy B's new title, which is available on Steam right now. It is a free-to-play. You can buy something called a Founders Pack for $15. The game I'm talking about is called Radical Heights. And guys, we knew it was coming. You know, when PUBG got so popular, we saw Epic Games do it with Fortnite. Battle Royale is that thing that you know, there's some people out there trying to capture that lightning in a bottle, and I guess Cliffy B is trying to do that right now. He's gone under some scrutiny, some of it warranted, some of it, like, I feel is kind of unwarranted for this title. Yo, Predator, do you think with everything that happened with Lawbreakers and stuff like that, do you think it's good for Cliffy to kind of, you know, get on that horse as fast as possible, come out with like a Battle Royale game I know it's only been 5 months. Only been 5 months in development, and it's available on Steam for free right now. But do you think that Cliffy B has an aura right now? Like, how do you think his aura with Lawbreakers and everything is going to affect Radical Heights, man?
Well, look at it this way: like Lawbreakers hasn't even been out, what, 8 months, 6 months maybe, and it's almost like it's abandoned, you know. And like instead of sticking through it, and shout out to the No Man's Sky devs, at least they fucking kept up with the game.
They kept going, man.
Yeah, even though they like, you know, it was like a shitstorm when it launched, but like.
Yo, Pat, people are gonna say you just shouted out No Man's Sky just because, you know, it's coming out to Xbox right now.
I'm not buying that game, but I mean, the guy took a lot of shit and he continued to try and make it better, even though it was a shitstorm when it launched. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna stick through this shit because this is my game." You know, Cliffy B was like, "Oh, Lawbreaker sucks. Let me move on to the next title." You know, like let me get some more money for this new game, and then, like. You know, and you know, people have asked him, yo, bring it to Xbox. Maybe you should have launched it on Xbox first. You know, instead of learning from mistakes, he's just like just pushes it to the side and comes out with a brand new game that, you know, I haven't seen it, I haven't played it, I'm not interested in it whatsoever. There's enough of those titles, those type of genres out there right now, and I don't even play those. I'm stuck on PUBG right now. So like, he comes out with another title that's basically a copy and clone. It seems like a cash grab, just like Lawbreaker seems like a cash grab for them. Like I just can't see myself getting into this game. And Cliffy B, what he should have did was either A, stuck with Lawbreakers and try to make it better, or B, just fucking disappeared for a while.
Yo, a sponsor for the channel, Mr. Brian Baker. That's right, Delirium Blades himself said, "Why stick with a game when only 6 people were on the servers?"
And that's his own fault.
Oh shit!
Right?
Silent Hill alarm.
That's Cliffy B's fault, because like, you know, like when you can't go out and bash one console and then talk shit about certain things and have to just be this whole fucking loudmouth, and it kind of turned a lot of people off from buying the game in the first place. And I tried it on PC for a little bit. I think I played like maybe an hour of it. I'm like, okay, it feels like Overwatch, you know, it's a copy clone of Overwatch with some different mechanics and some aspects, but like, he dropped it out and then dissed the Xbox guys. And now, even if he was going to bring it to Xbox, even as shitty as the game is right now, I don't think anybody's ever going to buy it on Xbox if he did. So, like, he kind of shot himself in the foot. So, you know, move on. Like, and that's what he did. He released another game, but it's in a preview program state. It's free to play at least, but I don't think anybody's going to really support it.
Well, from what I hear, there are low numbers right now on the game. I mean, it's only 5 months into development. I've heard a few YouTubers out there. Man, I'm thinking about if I should say his name or not. I completely disagreed with kind of like his early review of this game. It sounds like he really has a hate for Cliffy B, which is understandable. But when it comes down to the game, let the gamers know what the game is like. I feel like he was nitpicking certain things. It's not like he's asking people to buy the game right now. Like I said, it's free, and for 5 months in development, I like the aesthetic of the game, with it being in the future, but really kind of like 80s, kind of like aesthetic dominant. Like if the 80s took over like 2024, like I do like that. The whole game show aspect, blowing up arcades, collecting money, putting it in your offshore account. Spending your money on aesthetics and stuff like that, riding a BMX bike, doing tricks and stuff while you're in the middle of like the battle royale. I mean, I think it looks cool. I think it looks rough. I think it's really early, but I feel there's potential in this game. But I think the major drawback is that the name Cliffy B is behind it right now. I feel like that is going to hurt the game more than anything. So I'm going to go to the Don on this one, our resident developer, man. What do you think about this Radical Heights? And what do you think, you know, with what I'm saying about this game? Like, I think it shows promise. I just think that a big negative factor to it is that the name Cliffy B is attached to it right now.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, he has a tarnish on his report card right now. And, like, you know, not everyone's thinking the best of him. Simple as that. And so... yeah, he has a lot to prove. We'll see what happens here. I mean, it's a preview game, so hopefully it finds an audience. But you know, there's certain things you just couldn't take to what he said seriously. Like, this is the game we always wanted to do, and it shows up 5 months later.
5 months later, it was a passion project. It's like, no, it's not. You need money project. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, like, obviously he is a talented person, so why isn't he able to get the funding for something else? Right? Does he just want to be so independent he's unwilling to take money from other people? Is that what's going on, or people are not willing to take a risk because they feel like he is too much of a risk? I don't know what's going on with Cliffy B. I mean, he even tweets out.
I don't think he knows, man. To be honest with you,
I have a lot of respect for the guy. I really do. He helped work on one of my favorite franchises, so I mean, I can't hate him, like because of that alone. But every time he speaks, he just says the wrong things all the time, and he needs a no man. He needs somebody that's not a yes man to tell him no, that's not an okay thing to say occasionally. And he just doesn't have that. Like the other day, I saw a tweet from him saying that I don't know if he was joking or not because it's Twitter, because you don't know what type of context to take things, right?
Oh yeah, hold on. You're talking the Epic Games tweet? Because I was waiting to ask you about that, because that's one of the things. It's like I see Cliffy B like choking this game already with tweets like this. But go ahead. What was the tweet again, man?
It was tweet something along the lines of Epic, please stop trying to hire away my staff or something like that.
Stop trying to steal my staff away or something like that.
Exactly. And so people know that Boss Key Studios and Epic Games are not too far away from one another. So obviously Cliffy set up in his hometown after he was done with working with Epic Games. And to be honest with you, that's kind of what Cliffy did to Epic employees, right? Right?
That's true.
And then he says that sort of thing. So, I don't think, and this is just me guessing, I just don't think they are stealing staff in any sort of way. It's just that they're not really confident in what the new project is, or the first game out as Boss Key Studios didn't go well. I mean, that's a fact, and regardless if you like it or not, it just didn't go well. And they're wondering about the stability of a new studio. But you say things like that, and they're just like, man, I don't know if I want to work with Cliffy. Right?
I don't know if I want to be here anymore, man.
Exactly. All he's doing is shoot himself in the foot, where like some staff is like, Epic, when you having this position open, I can apply now. Right? And so it's nothing personal, but like, Cliffy B is struggling to find stability in a new studio. When you're a new studio and your first game doesn't do well, I'm shocked they can put anything else out. That's actually more impressive to me than anything else, is they've got something up and running within that time frame that they can generate some sort of revenue, and they haven't had to shut down doors for that game. And that's actually more impressive to me than what he's doing more than anything else. So,
all right, I got you, man. Yo, Mega, I gotta ask. First of all, do you know about the Radical Heights, the PC game? I know you play games on your computer as well. Have you seen this yet? Mega, it's got to happen at least one time per show. I think he is stunned on the SSX gameplay going on right now. It's like, how
you never knew you can actually land.
He's like, how does that person not end up on their ass?
They land on
like,
the floor,
all
not
the
their
time,
face.
man.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there he is.
Okay. All right. Oh, stop it. There's no penis demon around. So. No, I've seen it. Yeah, no, I've seen Cliffy B's new game.
So, first off, what do you think about this kind of like take on the Battle Royale? I don't know how much you looked into it. It's kind of got like that 80s aesthetic with music and stuff like that. It's set in the future. It's a game show. You basically collect money, like blowing up arcades and stuff like that, and you can spend it on aesthetics. What do you think about the game as a whole? And then what do you think about like with Cliffy's name being on that game? Do you think it has a chance to be successful? Yeah. I knew it, man.
Let me just say this. Cliffy B right now is the M. Night Shyamalan of games right now. He of game development. He's very miss. Now, I mean, I know that M. Night Shyamalan did really good with Split. So that should give future indication that Cliffy B still has an opportunity to make a good classic game. This shit right here, no. Bro.
You don't like it, man? You don't think it has
potential? I am not. I can't knock anybody for being interested in this game, because again, that it's all about preference. But I am not putting 1 cent behind that package of shit for me. Now, Lawbreakers, I thought had a lot of potential. And when I played,
the beta was fun, man.
The beta was absolutely fun, and and if it came to Xbox, I would buy that game because I know that unlike when I tried to buy it on PC and then I could never get the chance to play it when I actually bought it and had to get my money back. It was kind of crazy to me, right? So I think that it would have some legs. I think what Don was saying was absolutely right. That just, so he has a bad, him and Predator, he has a bad stigma right now. And
Predator's kind of bad stigma too. What did Pred do?
Well, no, Pred said the same thing. Said Don and Pred were right when they said he's got a bad stigma right now, and the game is just
that's
not.
Why Pred didn't get those gameplay votes. That's what.
Oh, stop it! You know what I'm saying? Look, this. I am just so. Yeah, I know. I will. Saying somebody in the chat saying, "Hey, Dirty J wants me to be messy." I'm not gonna be messy. I'm not. It's just not something that I'm definitely interested in. I think Cliffy B is so out of touch right now. He got rich off of Gears money and for whatever else investments that he got into. And the fact of it is that he is not fully engaged. He's not as hungry as he once was. And I think anybody that just comes to him with an idea, and if it sounds cool to him, it does, because this game seemed like it should have been dope last gen or the beginning of this generation. Because as we was looking at Sunset Overdrive,
I think it has more potential, not in terms of like success or whatever, but in terms of attracting me, it already has more potential than Fortnite does, man. In my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying Fortnite. I'm not interested in
Fortnite. He worked on Fortnite as well.
Oh, see,
so that was actually one of the last known projects he worked on over at Epic. So when he left, Fortnite obviously wasn't even remotely done. But yeah, he was working on the whole tower defense thing with Fortnite. So,
well, regardless, this game just doesn't. This game is no. I'm not even. I saw that. I saw the gameplay, and I know that the game is still full now to develop. It is so not. I'm so not interested in this game. So, look, for anybody that's interested in it, kudos. But to me, it's just not. No.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, on that note, let's get into something that I have not seen other gaming podcasts talk about, and it's something that is. It could deem like really important in the very near future, and I'm talking about 37 days from now. The Federal Trade Commission, that is the FTC, has warned 6 companies about warranty void violations in terms of law. In other words, the way that you would void their warranties is actually illegal in the United States. And there's 6 companies that they kind of went after to give them a warning. And the warning consists of 39 days for them to adjust and change up their warranty standards when it comes to voids. Now, 2 of the 6 companies are Nintendo and Sony. And that's right, that is for the Switch and the PlayStation. It seems that when it comes to voiding warranties, everybody knows there's a sticker on the back of the PS4. There's a sticker in back of the Switch and the Xbox, right? Where it says that if this sticker is tampered with, removed, or anything like that, your warranty is voided from that company. Now, the thing is, the Federal Trade Commission is stating that it is actually illegal to do so unless you are offering free parts and services to your consumers that are under that warranty. So in other words, Nintendo and Sony, according to the Federal Trade Commission, they do not offer free services to fix these systems if something happens and they break down internally or whatnot. I don't know. Yo, Predator, did you see the article on this?
I did not get a chance to see the article, but I can tell you firsthand when my Elite controller fucked up on my Xbox, I DM'd them and they wrote me back and they just sent me a brand new one free of charge and didn't even ask for the other one back.
Well,
so
see, they're within Microsoft is and Xbox. They're actually within guidelines when it comes to this. They are not one of the companies. They offer free services like you said to either get that Elite controller. The most you would have to do is pay shipping and handling, and there's a wait time. You know what I'm saying? And
you know, and I've heard horror stories with Sony, and I'm not bashing them. I'm not playing the fanboy thing, but I've seen articles and horror stories where they've they refuse to refund digital purchases, even if they were like it was an error. Or like I remember one story where a guy had been charged like thousands of dollars for games or something like that, and they refused to refund this guy his money back. So I mean, like, I've never tried to do anything with the Nintendo side, like as far as refund anything or get money back for it. But I can see them being the same way, and I mean that's just their practices. I don't know if it's a Japanese thing or like it's like you bought it, it's yours, you suck it up, or maybe it's an American thing where the customer's always right. So I don't know, but it sucks. I mean, like, but luckily, we have laws here in the United States.
That was a crazy story. I know the Don shared that in the DM, and I looked at that. I was like, damn, how come nobody else is talking about this? Because this is like, if they don't change this within, it was 39 days. The article was 2 days ago, so they have a little over a month to change it or to face some type of legal action. When it comes to this whole thing, that's a pretty big deal for people who own these systems, man. Don't you think?
Oh, definitely, and especially these things ain't getting no cheaper. So
true that.
Can you imagine you bought a Pro or a Switch, at $300 and something faulty happened to it like within 6 months and you couldn't do anything about it. So I mean, I'd be pissed as a consumer if I had to have to go through that ordeal, but. Luckily, I've never had an issue with my system so far. So, and the ones that I have had issues with on my Xbox side have been replaced immediately. So,
I got you, man. I got you. I am gonna ask you what you think's gonna happen with this, but I feel like I got to talk to the rest of the panel first, and then come back through and ask everybody what do you think's gonna happen. So let's hit up the Don. Let's hit up the Don next. He is the one who shared this article. Dude, man, that was a great article to put in the DM. Like I said, like if you didn't share that, I wouldn't have known about it. But it's really important to gamers who actually have that hardware. Give us kind of like what you think, your rundown of what the article said, and kind of like how you feel about it, man.
I think it's just cultural differences between different countries, right? They perceive warranties different than others. Sometimes businesses copy off one another. So that's when you have you break the seal, blah, 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 it avoids the warranty, not thinking about what are the conditions in order to abide by the laws in that land. I understand also in Central Europe, this is a big deal too as well. This is like a major no-no in regards to that.
I like how he says something serious. It's a major no-no, guys.
No.
It's bad.
No,
right? So, But it's a good thing, and we have these laws in place to protect consumers. That's what this stuff is. And so if you want to play by the rules here in the United States, you got to play by the rules. And so it's funny because like a lot of people will look at Xbox and they'll say, well, Xbox, why are they getting off? Well, they're not getting off. They're buying by the rules. You can have those stickers there, but you have to do either certain stipulations that come along with it, right? And they're fulfilling those stipulations regarding their paperwork as far as all that stuff is concerned. So, they're doing the right thing on that, and just Sony needs to update. I don't know what's involved on the legal side of things to update. It seems like it's such a short period of time to do a turnaround. I wouldn't be surprised that, basically Sony and Nintendo will get fined, and then they'll just have to pay the fines until they can make the corrections. I think that's ultimately what's going to end up happening. Mm-hmm. But it's a good thing. It's to protect consumers. It's one of the reasons why Sony gets in a lot of trouble in Central Europe as well with refunding games, like how Predator is saying. because their rules are different than they are here in the United States, as far as all that stuff is concerned. So
now, my whole question is, this generation started 2013. I don't know what the warranty kind of like procedures were last generation for Nintendo or PlayStation, but I know, I mean, pretty much the warranty issue when it comes to PS4 and Switch, they haven't changed since they have released. I don't believe. What do you think took the FTC so long to kind of say, hey guys, you're not abiding by the law over here in the United States right now?
I think Nintendo and Sony are fallout from a much bigger thing, which is cell phones. Cell phone electronics are the biggest culprit of it, because they're trying to constantly protect their ass. Because, well, let's be honest, you have this expensive piece of equipment that you carry in your pocket, and it's way more fragile than you think it is, right? And so they're trying to protect themselves on that front, and just left hand not talking to the right hand on a big company, and that's what you run into. And then as I said, companies copy off one another. So Sony and Nintendo are kind of found in the crossfire of all that sort of stuff. So
nice. Yo, huge shout out to Triple Cup Chuck in the chat. What is up, my brother? As well as everybody else. We have over 80 people watching. If you haven't done it yet, either hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down. I don't care which one you do, but share this over on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you like to hang out on these interwebs, and let's get a lot more people in here as well. Mega, I know you are pro gamer, man. You are for the consumer. What do you think about this issue here with Nintendo and PlayStation? Not really following the Federal Trade Commission laws, and their warranties have been shown to be illegal, man. What are your thoughts, dude?
Well, I mean, okay, let me be a big shout out to Bloody Knuckles from GRG.
Bloody Knucks.
We brought this topic up. No. Little Xbot. we brought this topic up last night. I hate the fact that you don't listen to our show, Bob. It breaks my heart, and you too.
I was busy last night, man.
Always busy. More busy than this. But we did talk about it because Knuckles brought it up to me, and we broke it down. And Knuckles actually was saying that even if you go past picking off that sticker and altering the system yourself, they still cannot they still cannot allow you to not get your refund back or them to fix it, because it's part of the policies that they have in the United States. And at that point, 100 went into this crazy rant, and I had to mute his ass. I had to mute him. I didn't eject those seat. I didn't eject those seat his ass. I didn't have to eject. I didn't eject those seat cuz his ass, but I did have to mute him because I was trying to let everybody else get their point of view across. But
hold on, was he drinking?
Of course. That's my point. He's gonna cuss me out tonight because I didn't get a chance to talk to him after the show.
I want to be in that party.
Oh yeah, you can come in the party tonight. He's gonna cuss me out. Mega, you mother. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, my bad. 100. Anyway, but so we was getting into it, and so when that is really sticky, because you might have some people that might have some clout to want to go after either Sony or Nintendo for previous, because every time that you have to go, give up your console to Sony, you have to pay that $99 fee.
Yeah.
And so if you got plenty of people that want to, if you got a lawyer or somebody that just want to say, hey, look, let's get a petition to where we get so many of these people to come in, it'll be another class action lawsuit. And you're like, damn, because it's just like what Predator said. There was plenty of people that got hit up with their money getting taken. I mean, I got my money taken when during that situation that happened with the PS3. And other that, but with the hardware running hot with the Pro and other things of that nature,
issues,
all these issues, they blame the consumer and not themselves, and saying that somebody fraudulently messed with that product and you didn't have a say-so for it. So this is going to be pretty huge. I mean, now it's going to be also how much is the payments going to be for the penalty. Now, if the penalty is going to be smaller than then say for somebody that wants to come after them and say they want their money back, then they'll pay that penalty instead and just say, look, well, we got a profit out of for whatever that we pay, whatever we got from that customer. But
they'll do the math is basically what they're saying.
Right,
like,
right.
They'll say what's the cheapest way out, and this is the cheapest way out. And
right.
I mean, that's pretty simple.
Right. And so with Nintendo, I'm actually kind of surprised, not because of this, because I do think this is a cultural thing because of where the companies are at, both companies are at. But Nintendo products has always been stellar, man. I mean, I'm going to show a picture of something that I just got not too long ago, and that was this Game Boy Color, and the damn thing still comes on. It works. Like, so their products has always been stout.
Yeah, Nintendo is really good with their hardware, man.
They're really good with their hardware, but I have been hearing some rumblings about the Wii U. I'm not the Wii U, I'm sorry, the Switch, of how certain things it's bendable, it's not as sturdy as you would think, and things of that nature. So I don't know if they tried to cheapen on their product or what, but
well, I do know if you wrap it in cardboard and try to use it as a gas pedal, it will break. Just putting that out there.
So again, like, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's always great for the customer to be right, especially when they bought hardware. It's just like when my Xbox One X clunked out on me. Nobody, I didn't ask for that, but thank God that I still had the Xbox One Fat to take its place while it was gone. But I was
$99 though,
and I didn't pay anything, and I didn't even have to pay for shipping. I mean, everything was free. Everything I had.
You ass. Really?
No, no. They sent me a little thing through email, and I took it to UPS. And I'm talking about to FedEx. I sent it to FedEx, and then what they do, they put that they print out that sticker from Microsoft, put it in the box. Everything was absolutely free, and they sent it off, and then I got my new Xbox. So I mean, I didn't have to pay one dime, and that's how it's supposed to be, because I didn't ask for no faulty shit.
Man, it's not that way if you get an Elite controller.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I seriously went through 4 different Elite controllers at this point, and they never warranted it. It's one of my gripes.
Even really the one that you rigged, you double boarded and everything, man.
Like rocks.
That one eventually broke, but
I'm showed a picture of your fingers though, because that's what messed it up for you. You got fingers like rocks, like sharp rocks.
Yeah, they're like that guy from the Never Ending Story.
Right. So yeah. So no, I mean, it's good for the customer, man. I am so excited. I'm excited for PlayStation fans out there that's had problems. So now they can actually
vindication, man.
Vindicate. Yeah, it's vindication. So I mean, yeah, it's all good for the customer. Now I don't know what's going to happen in Europe and all over the world, but big shout out to the United States wanting to do the right thing for the customer.
All right, so now, Mega, I need you to bust out your crystal ball. I need the rest of the people on the panel to do this as well. From this, right? And we are one of the few. That's what I'm going to say. We are one of the few podcasts that actually talk about this. What do you think is going to happen now moving forward? They got warned. I'm really interested to see about that class action suit. If anything will develop into that as well. But what do you think is going to happen? Are they going to comply, adjust, and then move on? Is there going to be some type of friction going on here?
No, there will be no friction. They can't have any friction, because that's more money lost for them for going against people that would actually go after them. What's going to happen is that the few podcasts that talk about it, or news outlets that's giving that information, it's going to stay a few. It's really weird that something that's all across the board for every gamer out there. This is supposed to be big information that's supposed to be on IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, all of this, and I mean headline stuff. If you can have God of War as the main headline, but it's that second headline right there, like, hey, look, this is something that might be concerned to you, not something that's going to be considered, if you had a newspaper, that's going to be on the second page. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be one of those things. If people don't look for it, or if they don't hear nothing about it, it's going to be the same status quo.
I got you, man. Yo, Predator, what do you think, man? You got your crystal ball out. You got your fancy hat on. You're looking into the future. What do you think is going to happen from all this, dude?
I'm sure they'll eventually comply to the standards here in the United States. There may be a class action lawsuit like 5 years from now, kind of like the one that came out.
And then 15 years from now, people will get
like the one that came
$20.
out with the original, I think the PlayStation 3 that dropped maybe like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, about the Linux, right?
Yeah, and like like who has that now? Who still has a receipt that can prove it? So like a lot of times like this kind of stuff it happens, and there's a class action lawsuit like years later, but you have to provide so much proof, and most people don't have it, or they don't even care, and it might get them what, $50 if anything. So it may be one of those things we won't hear anything about it for years. Like we'll mark this episode, whatever the number is, 87, and in 5 years, 10 years from now, we'll look back and be like, oh, I remember that episode. We'll have to dig it up out of the fucking trash bin or something and figure out, what we exactly said. But like, I mean, right now, it's just something that's in the news, but we really won't hear anything about this until the lawyers sort it out and get it figured out. And it may take some time for that. So
I am definitely with you on that. And by the way, Predator, just to let you know, there is somebody that looks up to us in the chat, actually called us masterminds, which I really appreciate that, man. That shows respect for the show, for the panel. Thank you so much.
He doesn't know we actually do this podcast from a hollowed out volcano.
Yeah. There's
a skull etched into the side of it as well.
Exactly.
We go in hard. But yo, Don, what do you think, man? Predict the future. What do you think is going to happen from this?
I don't know. There's short.
Predict. I didn't say it's going to be accurate.
Because I don't really understand the law on this particular subject matter. I just found it interesting because it was something that was being talked about. I mean, I don't know if the Trade Commission has the ability to block products coming to the United States. I mean, that's in my mind that's possible, but I don't really know if they have that power or not, or that they just charge people fines or what the story is. So. I think Pred's right. I mean, this stuff gets tied in the legal system all the time.
That red tape, man.
Yeah, it's a red tape. And it's one of those things. It depends. Is the legal system going to be cheaper for them? Is it going to be cheaper just to pay the penalty? Whatever is going to be going on there. But at the end of the day, these are laws to protect consumers, Sony consumers, and basically Nintendo consumers in America.
Yeah.
So a lot of times though, some of those fan bases don't really stick up for themselves sometimes, and this is the law doing it for you, like it or not, right? So we'll see where it comes from. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be whatever ends up happening is going to end up being good for the consumer.
Mm-hmm. Well, and at the end of the day, when it comes to these gaming podcasts, you know me, guys, I love talking games and stuff, but we are talking about a gaming industry. We are talking about a community of gamers out there. So when stuff like this, hits the pipeline, it's out on the interwebs, we need to put it out there and share it with everybody, just in case. Like Mega said, and Bloody Nuck said yesterday, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of people who paid that $99 fee over here, and that was inherently against the law when it comes to that. So there might be some type of lawsuit into the future. I do agree with Pred though, and Don, when it comes to the red tape, it's just going to get kind of like lost in the court system, and we'll see it like 12 years down the line. But with that being said, guys, if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, if you haven't shared this out on social media, now is the time to do so, because we are going to get into what this person in the gaming media decided to tweet out yesterday. And it's really interesting. And not only that, Phil Spencer actually responded to this. But our buddy Shaggy, Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, he is a pro Tesla gamer. That's what I'm calling him right now. He's a pro Tesla gamer. Because they call him the Xbox guy over there. But I don't know if he really is. Here's the deal. He tweeted out, he said, Xbox fans are dying, that's all capitals for dying, are dying to celebrate a masterpiece level exclusive like God of War. Thing is, though, it took Sony 10 years to get to this point where their first party is firing on all cylinders. This work started in PS3 era. Xbox can/might get there, but it's going to take a long time. Guys, there are so many holes in this. I swear to God. I could not believe this when this was shared in the DM. Yo, might get there. With titles like Halo, Gears, Fable. People are clamoring for another Fable right now. You have Forza as the epitome of a racing game, but they might get there. I don't know. Yo, Predator, what did you think about this tweet, man? And is this guy a pro Xbox gamer at IGN?
I'll go with the first part of his statement. I think he was absolutely right on that aspect of it. We are dying for that. I've been saying that on this podcast for eons. Like, we want that home run hitting game.
Whenever anybody says eons, I think of Nelly from St. Louis. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why. All right.
I've been saying this on this podcast for a while. We want that generational game that makes people want to buy an Xbox, right? Like, we've never been excited about any of the games that came out except for maybe Halo and Gears, but like, we don't have fans coming to Xbox for those games. They either loved them in the past and aren't interested anymore, or like, we just don't have that game anymore. Like, we don't have that game, the generational game that defines this generation yet. It hasn't come yet, and I want that excitement. Like I've been saying, I want that wow factor. Every time I say that, people say, "Oh, wait till E3." We've been saying that for 2 or 3 years now. So like, we do need that, and people have to understand, Microsoft is the child of the gaming generation right now, right? Because Sony and Nintendo have been around for a long time, a lot longer than Xbox has.
Yeah, they are the newest kids on the block.
Yeah, and so like, they're still figuring some things out, and with the regime change we had recently, I say recently, it's been a couple of years, but like, we've basically turned over the entire Xbox division, from going from Donnie to Phil and getting Phil's visions implanted. And, it starts with, we needed games. We needed a system. We still need games, should I say. We need to get rid of that 2013 stigma, and we had to fix that aspect of it. So like, it's a healing process. It's going to sound like damage control, but like, we're still young right now as a gaming division. So it's going to take time. And I think what he said in the beginning phase, yes, we are looking for that. We do want those games, and we're looking for them. It takes time to make those games. The second part of his comment, I don't agree with. Like, I think like the might part, like, is it a might? We will get there eventually if we stick with it. And I know Microsoft has a history of just dumping shit, Windows Phone, Zune, shit like that. We're just like, oh, it ain't making money, we get rid of it. But they seem like they're in the long haul for the Xbox division by, promoting Phil, giving him his own, section, getting him up under the guy he was under before, and eventually getting rid of that guy. So I don't think the gaming division is going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think Microsoft just needs to focus on the games, and that will take care of itself. But I mean, we got the system. They got a roadmap for that, but we need a roadmap for games to make us happy as gamers, because what's happening so far is we're left in the dark right now, because like, we know Crackdown is coming, we don't know when, and we don't know anything else after that other than like the normal, the Forzas and stuff like that. But like, we're left in the dark right now. I think a lot of the gamers out there, the Xbox fans, like, we're just like, what the fuck is going on? Say something. It's like when you get in a fight with your spouse, and like, she doesn't want to say shit to you, and you're just sitting there like, I know she's mad at me, but I want her to not be mad. So fucking say something to me.
I hate sitting in that room at that point in time, man.
Yeah, and that's how I feel right now when it comes to the Xbox division. It's like, we need to hear something, and we should not have to wait every fucking year for E3 to get something out of Microsoft's mouth on what the fuck is coming down the road.
Well, Predator, with that, hold on, Predator, with that being said, like, Phil, he came out with a new idea for E3, which was basically talk about the games that are coming out within that year. Now, in hindsight, which everybody knows, hindsight is 2020 right there. Do you think that was actually a mistake by him, and he should have teased like what was coming beyond that year?
They don't have to tease everything, right?
But not everything, man.
Okay. Let's look at the rumors we've had so far this year, right? We've heard new controllers, we've heard buying studios, we've heard Fable, like we've heard about
Perfect
these
Dark.
things. I mean, you can go through a whole list and none of them have been confirmed. Not one of them has been fucking confirmed. None, right? You mean to tell me they can't drop a leak? They can't fucking come out and say, "Yeah, we're working on this." Just one,
a timely quote unquote leak.
Yeah, not everything. You don't have to show us the whole fucking egg basket, but just show us an egg, And like right now, we're getting goose eggs. We're not getting shit. Like we're not hearing anything. And I hate waiting a whole fucking year from E3 to E3 to figure out what the fuck is going on with our system, because like it sucks. What it does, it just kind of makes us kind of step back a little bit. And I've seen it in the community, and we're trying to hold out, we're trying to have faith, but like we can't keep coming into every E3 saying wait till E3. Wait till next E3.
See, I think this year is different. I know there's been a lot of like bullshit with Sea of Thieves. I know there's been a lot of bullshit with haters out there talking about, yo, Crackdown looks like dog shit, which I don't know. Like I've never seen cell shaded dog shit before, so I don't know what that looks like.
I can make that for you.
You can make that for yeah. I need that, man. Maybe we'll have it on the show like next week.
That'll be our new trophy for gameplay.
But like I like what we know is coming out this year. State of Decay 2, the new Forza Horizon, which basically somebody from Xbox in another part of the world stated that it's going to be announced at E3. So
yeah, I mean, we expect that though. But like, okay, let me give you an example, right? So, let's say, what are we in March, April now? Let's say maybe a month ago, right? Microsoft came out and said, we're working on Fable 4, right? Could you imagine how hyped the community would be just by hearing that? But like right now, if they don't announce it this year, because we're expecting it, we've kind of built ourselves up.
Well, I think they kind of need to, at least at like that very end of their E3
exactly.
Like
when Nintendo comes out and they're like, they show a teaser, some bullshit.
They just showed a floor or something like that, and people are
and like it just give us a hint, and like that will get us excited. That will be enough to string us along for another E3. But because they don't do that, like it kind of leaves us kind of guessing. Like, and we shouldn't have to guess. We just spent $500 on the console, expecting something, definitive to run this motherfucking console. Like I want a wow factor game, and I'm not getting that right now. Like nothing against Sea of Thieves, nothing against State of Decay, nothing against Crackdown, but like we need a wow factor game, and I don't think it's coming right now. It hasn't been announced yet. Let me say it that way.
Well,
I think the fans need that.
I will say Phil Spencer did respond to that, but I want to get people's idea, like their opinions on what Ryan McCaffrey, like the pro Xbox guy at IGN, and what he said at first, and then we're going to talk about how Phil responded, because I feel that how he responded was absolute genius.
Let me say this about Ryan McCaffrey real quick before you move on.
Go ahead.
He is a pro Xbox guy when it suits him.
Dude, like, I don't know. When he was talking about masterpiece games, he could be talking about this generation, but then again, where was he when everybody was talking resolution on Quantum Break? Where was he when Sunset Overdrive came out and people are like, well, that's like too cartoony, and then they're talking about the 900p and this and that. Taking those technical aspects, putting out of it, and being like, yo, guess what, guys? This is an absolutely great game, which they were. If he was a pro Xbox guy, he would have talked about the performance, but then he would have let people know like how good the actual game was. And that would have been kind of like in the forefront of it all, being that one guy there at IGN that's supposed to be the quote unquote Xbox guy.
But he's the only one there at IGN that actually uses his Xbox in a sense, it seems like. So like that's why we call him pro Xbox guy.
Door open, man.
But out of 0 to 100, 100 being the highest and 0 being the least, like because he's the only one at IGN, he's like at a 60, and so we give him like the 400 because he's the only one there that actually supports Xbox, which isn't warranted. They need more people on that panel, just in the IGN and the fucking media in general. They need to
hire us. Let's just be real here. They need to hire the next podcast panel and we will do that job like he never did before. But on that note, Mega, what do you think about our boy Shaggy and what he decided to tweet out? Is there any kind of relevance in his tweet? Do you see the pro Xbox guy at IGN like in this tweet, man? What do you think, dude? And he is muted again, people. 2 times in one show, just for everybody watching. Yeah, we're gonna skip you. We're gonna skip you, Mega.
Can you hear me now?
There he is. What are you doing, man?
I don't know. I don't know. There's something going on, man. Like, I guess if I don't talk for a long time, that I have to switch. I got to go into the settings and switch to because I got 2 mic settings. I don't know what the hell that's about.
Yo, Mega is using. You remember those play
it's
school?
It's
those
probably
play
time
school
for me
mics,
just to get a new PC.
The play school mics that were attached to the little boombox, like that's what he's using to talk through right now.
Okay, well, regardless, what I was saying is that I agree with Fred on the fact about McCaffrey is that he wants to be an Xbox fan when it suits him. Because remember, he went into this whole discussion about why Xbox is not including children.
Dude, when he gets access to Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, Mikey Barr, and all them, that's when he's like, I'm an Xbox fan.
Because they get more back, especially back then, they get more clout and recognition from other people than what a lot of us YouTubers have. But I mean, our channels keep continuing to grow and our voices get loud. You know, it resonates to other people in there. And what's really cool is that there are Xbox execs that do listen to us. You know, maybe not every video or every podcast that we do, but there is some out there that
we had Mikey Barr in the chat a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, and I say stuff, and I've given stuff to Shannon Loftus, and you know, what I'm saying she's been really cool. So I mean, I don't know, but regardless, and then there's some other people that I've seen that's part of the Xbox staff, but again, I don't know. Look, to me, it's like this. I think some of what he said had relevance because of the fact that there is a lot of disdain right now, because when you hear you got to give so much props to the PlayStation fans for their dedication. It doesn't, you know, you don't hear them saying anything about what we was talking about the regulations that's going to come ahead. All you're hearing is about 2 games. That's it. 2 games, and the hype for them are just so impressive that you can't even be mad at them for it. Like, I mean, it's stupid. So you know what I'm saying? And what's so sad about Xbox fans is that State of Decay 2 is going to be a really good game. There's even PlayStation fans that say, you know, some of them might even say it in the DMs or whatever. Oh, hey man, on the down low, hey man, I'm really looking forward to that State of Decay 2. But Xbox fans themselves, you only hear pockets of them. State of Decay 2 is going to be dope, but you do not hear Xbox fans give any Xbox game any hype like you see the PlayStation fan or the Nintendo fan.
Well,
it's really amazing.
The thing is, they don't want to be jumped afterwards, right? Like if they enjoy a game or something like that, because there's always this segment of people. If you say you like State of Decay or Sea of Thieves, they're going to jump you for having an opinion that's different than theirs.
Dude, we've been jumped on for Sea of Thieves. Oh my goodness, yo, Twitter is like a battleground, and I'm a non-violent dude. Like, as soon as I put out there that like I enjoy Sea of Thieves, and I know Mega puts out a tweet that like I had a blast playing Sea of Thieves with Don and Xbox. All of a sudden, there's a whole list of people saying it's garbage. Like,
is it our most successful? For me, it's my most successful stream on Mixer.
Yeah.
This
was my second. Well, this was the number 1, but this was really high up there. I got a lot of followers playing Sea of Thieves the other night. Last week. So for me, it's like this. I feel relevance of what Ryan McCaffrey was saying, because it did take Sony until the end of the generation to pick it up. But the thing of it was the difference between with PlayStation then in the beginning of this generation and Xbox now is that PlayStation had time. Their fan base gave them time. There was Xbox fans that was clowning them when they were saying it was sparse.
When they only dropped like Little Big Planet and stuff like that, I see exactly where you're coming from. People were behind them, no problem. Like, well, it's Little Big Planet and this and that, and they stuck by even the titles that, you know, they knew they weren't buying, because not a lot of people really, you know, back Little Big Planet with their wallet or whatnot, but they I don't know, they like had like blinders on, man. They were marching forward. They're like the Budweiser Clydesdales. They didn't see anything to the left or right. It was just forward.
Yeah, I know, but what they had to boot was that they had 1080p games. What they had to boast was the 1080p games. That's what they could lean on. Plus the fact that they had a couple of good bangers. I mean, you have Bloodborne that came a little bit later, things like that. But the 1080p thing was huge for Sony fans to grasp, even at the time when Sony was hyping up the indies, and then that gave them enough time to go ahead and they brought their bangers. Xbox already had their bangers going, but of course, you know, when Titanfall dropped, it was really successful, but there was people that was still downgrading the fact that it was a 720p box, and the fact that it was, you know, that the Xbox just wasn't winning in MPDs and it wasn't winning in sales and all that culminated into what we have right now. And when Xbox had their downtime right now, Xbox fans is not patient. They expect Xbox to be expecting to be bringing the heat back to back to back to back. But when you question even the best games that they brought out this generation or didn't go buy them, then it's pretty much, to me, like you're contradicting yourself. I don't want Xbox to be like Sony. I want Xbox to be in that middle of the ground plane to do what they're strong for, is their multiplayer games, exactly. and bring single player games you know, to the not to the forefront, but bring single player games to where you can have the best of both worlds. Also bring those kiddie looking games like Super Lucky's Tale, like Nintendo does. Have the best of both worlds, but stays true to what your brand is, and that is multiplayer. That is Xbox Live. This whole talk about we want God of War. Yeah, okay. We got Hellblade. I don't know what these overall sales is looking like right now, but it don't look like a lot of people went up here and got this mature quote game that people have been asking for, because this game is amazing. So
especially with the Xbox One X enhancements, unless you have like a huge like gaming rig at home, you're not going to get any better than, you know, what that game is looking like. For those graphic whores out there, what that game looks like on the Xbox One X, insane. It would be a no-brainer to pick it up at that point in time. Me, I'm not so much a graphic whore. I do love the visuals, but I do see the visuals as a part of a total package that equals out immersion. Now, with that being said, hold on, Don.
Let me say this. Let me say this before you go to Don. This is another. I wanted to finish with his point because I want to say this last point.
Okay.
I do agree. I do not agree with what McCaffrey said about it's going to take up to 10 years for Xbox to get back into their stride. Because right now, somebody just sent me that's a manager at a GameStop just sent me that Crackdown is now up on shelves for pre-order on the at GameStop right now. Well, he's showing it to me right now, the picture of it right now, and he is a manager at GameStop. So I think Xbox is going to be bringing these bangers. I think that's what I'm saying. E3 is going to be amazing for Xbox, but if people are really realistic, it's all about E3 to set the tone for all of these companies. It's just that PlayStation has more conferences to where they can flow their games out more often than what Xbox does. So what Xbox needs to do is to add another conference to
I gotta be honest with you. When it's all said and done, I just think that it's a narrative that has snowballed from the beginning of this generation. When I look back at this generation, to me, in terms of exclusives, the game of this generation was Sunset Overdrive. And unfortunately, I didn't feel like it got the proper first of all, the marketing could have been more, but it wasn't bad. Let's be honest there. It wasn't bad. But that was a point where everybody was talking about power, and it was about how many Ps, and it was all resolution this, resolution that.
I can't co-sign that. Sony's marketing has kicked Microsoft's ass.
Yeah, I'm saying it wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was the best. Like, you don't need the best marketing for every title or whatnot. But I thought this game had the makings of it was fun, it was colorful, it was innovative. It was a blast to play. It's a game that, in my opinion, definitely deserves a sequel, because then they can put in that multiplayer like co-op to it, which I thought was the only thing that was really lacking in that game. They had Chaos Squad, but that was separate from the story. If you were able to go in with either 1 or 3 of your friends and go in and tackle the story as like a group or whatnot, I thought that was the only thing that was lacking in that game. To me, on the Xbox One, that is the game of the generation. I love Halo 5, right? I think the multiplayer is spot on. I see what people are talking about in terms of story. So that's why when it comes to a new, fresh IP, something different, with Xbox, to me it was Sunset Overdrive. I don't know. With that being said, Don, I know you saw what Ryan McCaffrey said. I want to see what are your opinions with what he put out there on Twitter. Do you agree, disagree? Are you going to do what Predator and Mega did and kind of put it into 2 parts? What's going on?
Well, I want to talk about Ryan first, but before we do that, I did send something else in the DM in regards to this, and I want you to read an additional comment that you put out on Twitter in regards to this original tweet.
Really?
Yeah, read it out loud so everyone can hear it.
Well, I have a hard time with the Rorschach, but boy, this tweet really turned. This is about the tweet that he started, guys. All right, and
yes.
Phil did respond, and I can't wait to get into what Phil said as well. But in his response to this whole thread, he said, "Boy, this tweet really turned out to be a fanboy Rorschach test."
Yeah.
Dude, that's what you fueled right there at the beginning when you tweeted this out.
I had to Google that. Ink blots, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In other words, people are looking at his tweet and they're seeing fanboyness. They're seeing well, he's not saying this about Xbox or whatever. They're creating a negative fanboy aspect to what he tweeted, is what he's saying. That the people who answered this thread, with games like Halo, Gears, Fable, Forza, all the titles that Microsoft has under their belt in terms of masterpieces or whatnot, and him saying it'll take 10 years or so, if they even get there to do that, but he's saying that tweet like spawned a whole bunch of fanboy comments. Yeah, that's
okay.
Insane.
So here's what I have a problem with Ryan McCaffrey. Right? You said something. It may be off color. It may have attention. It may not. Whatever. I'm not going to judge someone else's intentions. But and then when he does say something wrong, they go the fanboy route, right? And I hate using that term, but that's the term he used, right?
So all the time.
Yeah. So, and that's a term that a lot of media types do use. I do not use that term in relationship because those people are my potential customers. I do not insult my customers. Little known fact, those are his customers too, because he's media, right? Do not treat customers like that.
Little known fact here.
Yeah. That, and at the end of the day, kind of an asshole. Like, I'm just going to say it. Like, he has a lot more followers, and he can rain down upon me all he wants, but the reality is, I got talent, and, well, he shows what he's got, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't have any respect for this guy. I really don't. And I'm pretty even keel. I'm always kind of the glass is half full guy.
I was gonna say, you find the positive in a lot of situations.
Exactly. But with this sort of thing, I mean, he knew what he was saying. He knew it was going to ruffle some feathers. Like, you can't. There's 2 possibilities. Either he's completely ignorant and just not intelligent, which I'm not going to give him a pass on that, or he knew exactly what he was doing and what was going to do. Right, mm-hmm. and then they cry wolf when people kind of call him out on it. And yes, I did see some of the comments and stuff like that, but the fact is, Ryan didn't tweet at Phil respectfully at the end of the day, and that's where I kind of have a little bit of an issue of how he projects himself. Like, there's a big company that they're responsible for a lot of jobs. They're responsible for bringing out content, and there's nothing wrong with being critical, but you have to have an understanding of the person you're being critical about in order to offer anything of value. So this tweet didn't really offer anything of value. It was insulting to his customer
you're saying
base.
Exactly what Mooch was saying yesterday in terms of, tweeting to Phil Spencer or Mikey Barr or Aaron Greenberg with having some dignity and expressing like your opinion and, hey, is this coming on down the line, or what's going on with this, and what's the roadmap for this, instead of being a pseudo kind of like Mr. Negative on that whole situation, and you'll get a lot more answers. Now, granted, Ryan McCaffrey, like I said, he has full access to everybody at Xbox.
He's got an answer. Like, he's got an answer, but the thing is, what irritates me, and this is the reason why very little things that really get me going, but the fact is, he's treating my customers that way. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And, I have a problem with that. Like, people don't need to be treated like that. People don't need to be called like that. People can express themselves. There's a difference, right? But when you're a developer, or when you're a head of a corporation, or you're a media type, there's a different level of expectation in how you act and how you behave and who you represent. He represents the worst of IGN right now.
I can't disagree with you, dude.
And everything I would say here is everything I would say directly to his face in front of his boss. Like, this is, I'm not pulling any punches. I'm just being upfront about it, right? So he knows how to word things better than that. He works as an editor. He knows how to write things better than that, right? And to treat a whole fan base, treat people like that, it's just not okay. Is it cool to say God of War is a great game? If he feels it's a masterpiece, yeah, he's entitled to those things. Totally entitled to those things.
Yeah.
But that's the big thing is, like, people want to say bias media or not. I don't care. There's a way to behave and not behave, and honestly, shame on Ryan.
Basically, you're saying he's not being professional right now. He's being more of like a high schooler getting involved.
And what's strange about this whole tweet, I actually tweeted Phil something very similar prior to that, and I expect Phil to answer Ryan over me any day, because Ryan's got a lot more followers. People know who he is as far as a personality, all that sort of stuff. And Ryan did set a little bit of a fire under him, right?
Yeah.
But here I'm gonna read my tweet. This is how I would do it. Hey Phil, am I wrong in assuming that the Xbox is going for a well-rounded portfolio on the platform? However, this does not mean you're going to be excluding more mature, graphically intensive titles, but they are part of the bigger plan for Xbox. Simple question.
Yeah.
Let them be successful. I'm not dogging on any games that are not anything different. I did it in a more mature way. Now, I don't expect Phil. I'm not going to be upset at Phil for not answering or anything like that. That's no big deal. Like, Ryan gets answered versus me. But what bugs me is there's a way to do it the right way and the wrong way. So that's my take on Ryan. I'm a little hard-headed on Ryan on that one, but that's kind of how I feel. And I think media types need to start taking responsibility how they treat the development community's customers at the end of the day. So
definitely. Now, with that being said, we're talking about Phil. Let's get into Phil's response real quick, and then afterwards we are running close to the end of the show. So, with Phil's remark to this whole thing, he said, "Our hardware took time. Our service, platform, and backwards compatibility took time, and continuing to grow our first party will take time. A high quality and diverse first party, yes, with single player, built the right way is our goal and what our customers deserve. We have similar results to we can have similar results to what we have seen in hardware and platform." Now, to me, that was a perfect way to say it. Basically, he said that what they did with the hardware in creating the Xbox One X and putting that out there, and you see how that is basically it's the most powerful console out there. It is, in my opinion, the best running console this generation. And like I said, my opinion on that. But he said we can have that similar result when it comes to first party, yes, with single player on our software side, but it takes time, is what he's trying to say. And you know what? I agree with him. I don't know. Yo, Mega, what do you think about his response? Was that spot on? What would you have said, man?
Every time.
I love this. This is a classic episode, by the way.
We have to start playing the Jeopardy music every time he types out like this.
Okay, you know what? Phil is classy. I'm here. I'm back, right?
I love that response, man.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
No, we can't hear you. Speak up.
I know what to do now. Stop it, you. Anyway, so listen. Phil is just classy, man. He's a gamer. He's not a suit. And so the thing of it is that like as though I can not like the whole like giving props in public, because Sony didn't give any Sony or Nintendo didn't give any props about what happened with Sea of Thieves. You know what I'm saying? That's still just Phil is just a genuine nice guy, and I hate when people jump on him for being a good guy. You see what I'm saying? That's good for the industry. And so what he gave out with that information is saying, look, we are doing what you guys ask, but is something that I've always been saying, and I will remain to keep saying this. If you want great titles, they don't take overnight to make. So, I mean, God of War was what, 5 to 7 years to be made. Horizon Zero Dawn was what, 5+ years. I mean, good games just take time to make. So if you want these big hot titles, they're going to take a little time. But in the meanwhile, you see that everybody talks about, well, Halo, Gears, and Forza is all that Xbox has, but we have Sea of Thieves right now, regardless of what some may have a problem with or not. Then just next month, we have State of Decay 2 coming right around the corner. And more people are still asking for something else instead of for what's on the horizon. And then right after that, you have whatever's going to be coming in between. In that month in between, you got Inside Xbox. They'll be hinting to more stuff that's going to be coming. And then you have E3, and then everything will just drop then. And Crackdown 3 will hopefully sometime come out this year. So it's not, and I definitely think that Xbox is going to bring some kind of surprise to the table. I don't know if it's going to be this new revamped of not Halo Wars, but the Master Chief Collection or what, but it's still going to be something that they're going to bring on top of the games that we know that they have. Look, I don't, if you're enjoying your console, why the hell are you bitching about what the other competition is doing?
Well,
I just don't get it.
One thing I always found funny, especially this generation, because this is where this shit has gone rampant. I know people, they point to past generations, but with social media being as big as it is absolutely everywhere. I love when somebody who has no interest in playing on the platform that I play on the most, right, has no interest, is going to tell me what they should do, what that platform should do to make things better, when they have no interest in it anyway. So if they have no interest in it, they don't really care what it does. They're just going to say, well, it should mimic my favorite platform here, but it'll still never be as good, but it still should try to mimic that. I'm like, dude, right. You have no interest in playing on the Xbox, and if that's the case, then you have no interest seeing it grow either. If that's the case, I'm not going to listen to what you think, can make that platform better. You have no interest being on it whatsoever.
Well, it's just the same thing about what just Xbox fans in general, or so-called Xbox fans. Look, if they bring out Quantum Break 2, right? There'll be people that will complain. I didn't want Quantum Break 2. What? If they bring out Rise 2, I didn't want Rise 2. What? They bring out
that's a lie.
No, I promise you, there'll be
people out there though, man,
fans that will complain and say that wasn't good enough. They'll say, "Well, I rather would have had Sunset Overdrive." And if they did bring Sunset Overdrive, there'll be people that'll say that they didn't want that.
Well, they're more investment in the argument over versus one platform versus the other than actually just enjoying their games, right? So
that is the truth right there.
Yeah. So that I see that a lot. Like I'm not interested in winning some sort of argument about different views on what games you enjoy. Like that's trivial at the end of the day. So
yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, if they bring it, there are going to be people that complain. And what's the saddest thing about it is that there'll be people like you were talking about, Bot, that will be on this petition, or not a petition, but they'll be on this crusade to want to say this isn't good enough for Xbox fans, and there will be people that will admit and say, no, that's not good for Xbox games. What happened in 2017 wasn't great for Xbox. I get that. There's nothing to it's just a bad year. It's just like what we were saying earlier, is that they're Pred said that, and he was right. They're the babies of this group, and they haven't really had a time to where they didn't have big, strong exclusives to show, because even the OG Xbox didn't sell very well. It had bangers on that console.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, again, if they bring a Lost Odyssey, or if they bring a Tagi or something from their old portfolio and bring it back, I guarantee you that there will be naysayers that say it still isn't on the caliber of what PlayStation brings. And to me, I think that that's a disservice to just giving anything to. It's a disservice to gamers in general, because if there's a good game, is a good fucking game. Doesn't matter if it's an indie or if it's a AAA. I get that people want to say they want AAAs and they want this and they want that. But if they do bring a game that, let's say, Recore, and they jump Recore up to be a AAA, there will still be people that'll bitch about it because they still remember the old Recore. That's all I'm saying. Big shout out to Phil. Phil's doing a great job, man. I believe in Phil and what the direction of what they're doing with Xbox.
Well, see, yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you with this whole thing, with what Phil said, with him saying that he's basically trying to do with software what they did with hardware with the Xbox One X, and trying to give the highest value, and that doesn't happen, overnight. It takes time. No. Do you think that's more of a politician speaking there, or do you think he's speaking the truth?
No, I mean, he has been, what I'm saying? I think in the beginning he was being more of a suit, because he had to be, because he didn't know what his status was going to be at the time, and when he wasn't the head of Xbox. But once he got that, he's now starting to be more open about what's going on. Like, he admitted that he was wrong about the marketing stuff. He said he was wrong about other particular things, about single player games and all of that. He admitted to that. So the thing is that he has been as transparent as I've seen anybody in the gaming industry has been, and he's still getting flacked from people that aren't paying attention to that. They're just going by listening to what all the hate is. And I find that to be really, really sad, really. Because, I mean, if you're going to give Sony their opportunity to get back on their feet and bring the bangers that they have out now, then damn it, you should do the same thing for Xbox. Because we had to wait a whole generation for Nintendo to get their shit together.
That's true. That is true. Even though I got to say, I enjoyed the Wii U. With the first party that they had on it, like I would sit there with the kids and play like the Mario stuff like that, Nintendo Land, all that good stuff. We had a lot of fun with it. But Don, what do you think about the response here from Phil? I have to ask that question, whether you think it's a politician's move or if you feel there's truth to it, man. And give us your opinions, dude.
Man, it's so hard to put things in context through a tweet. And I think that's what Phil does, right? He does it really, really well, where he basically tries to tell everybody as much as he can without really telling you everything. Mm-hmm. And I think he illustrated games do take time, and that's just simply how it goes. Games get delayed, all sorts of different stuff. So, he's in the business of releasing games, making sure people are excited about the platform, that sort of thing. What was the last big announcement that they did? What do you remember when that was, guys?
It was E3.
Yeah.
E3 last year.
But as far as exclusive, what was the last big one? Was it 2000?
Oh, like the very first announcement.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Of something new. It was like 2013 was the last time they announced something big, because that's just something that everyone keeps talking about, right?
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Right.
So 2013 or is it 2012?
2013.
2013. Okay.
Right.
So you got 2014. So realistically, if he started right then, which he hasn't.
Wasn't Sea of Thieves announced in 2015? if I remember correctly.
2016, I thought.
But the same year we did this podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like that. I mean, that's a big announcement.
That was 2012, was it?
No.
What
What was it? I'm asking you guys. I don't know. That's
2016.
I would say the last brand new exclusive was either ReCore or Sea of Thieves.
Okay, ReCore or Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
when that was announced 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That Tony Montana.
So
That's
realistically,
actually Michael Bolton people dressed up as Tony Montana. By the way.
Realistically, if there was no overlap between products, right? As far as what they announced and stuff like that, which most likely there is, you're looking sometime next year, whatever their next big title's going to be. So I mean, that's just
Blade said 2015. So I guess.
But you get what I'm saying though, right? So it's 2015 is what is it? 2016, 2017, 2018. Mm-hmm. So there's something due out this year, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you realistically look at it. So what Xbox did is, agree with it or not, we're seeing the downsides of people have their doubts right now. So you can't say that's not something that doesn't exist. But, we're talking about one side of the coin right now, and we're not talking about what they're going to reveal. We all know it's part of the plan. They're going to reveal something. Either do we know what it is? Is it more well-rounded products? Is it more mature titles, things more graphically intense? We do not know, but we will know in less than a month and a half. And everyone's reacting to something that we're going to have answers to pretty soon.
Dude, they have to have a big E3 just for the simple fact that they have their own building for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people are talking about, they better show this or they better show that, like, you hear Phil and all them saying, this is going to be the biggest E3, like, in Xbox's history. Now, with what you see with them in terms of their space, it has to be true because this is the first time they have a whole building dedicated to just Xbox, man, and just gaming on that platform.
Well, if you go dark for that long, right? I mean, obviously there's a plan when you're doing that. Like, the plan is not to not release something. You have to release something because that's why you have a platform, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, they're in the business to releasing games and make sure third parties happy with releasing products on the machine.
He's a troll, man.
Yeah, he totally is. But you kind of get where I'm saying. So, like, they've been trying to do this radio silent thing for a while, right? And it's coming to a head. This E3 is that head. Whatever the end result is, we'll find out. But this to me, it seems like it's all been part of the plan. And regardless if someone thinks that the plan's backfiring on them or not, but this was the plan. So we're just gonna know pretty soon. I don't understand why people keep reacting to something that was announced last year.
It's just their stupid narrative to just make you feel relevant about their platform of choice.
Well, but the question is, and I'm not saying they're going to have bangers or not because I don't know. I'm curious, just like anybody else. But I mean, what happens if you find out that some of the best games they're ever going to release on the platform happens, at this E3, and what are you going to look like, right? You all had your doubts, and now you realize now they have something good coming. Or they go, you know what? It's not coming to this year, but it's coming out the following year, whatever it may be. So
it will still be. That's what I'm saying. Like that. That's why I say to Xbox fans, don't listen to the rhetoric, because if they do show snippets of games that may be coming a little bit more in the future, like let's say 3 years down the line, and they talk about Fable and Perfect Dark and whatever, and what I'm saying, maybe another, and all these marketing deals that Xbox is now getting and all this and all that, and then they'll still say the same narrative about, oh, well, we still got Death Stranding and we still got The Last of Us, and Xbox still doesn't have anything to compete with PlayStation 4. If you still listen to that and Xbox knocks it out the park with giving out big AAA titles, showing those, then this is on you for being a fool to listen to that bullshit over and over again. People can't hold your hand. You got to really realize if you really are that skeptical of Xbox, then just be a PlayStation or a Nintendo or a PC person.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stress it enough. It's just like, look, if there's plenty of other platforms, and that's one reason why we all own multiple platforms, is because if there's something good on one side, on one end, then yeah, Spider-Man, Detroit for me, God of War for others, Look, that's cool. Ain't nobody knocking that. There's a dope looking Nintendo game that's coming out that kind of looks like something from Dark Souls, but it has like this kind of weird storyline to it. Looks dope. Be hyped for it, but don't constantly knock Xbox for something, especially if they start to show something. I mean, like Don said, it's only a month and a half away, bro.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think they took this turn, because every time they would announce something, it was literally 2 or 3 years of bad press about one of their games, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the new strategy, right? Is to do a blitz marketing. Now we're seeing the cons. Now I don't think anyone want to say you wouldn't, but we knew those cons were going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is these people don't really have that much of a voice, right? They're basically ragging on nothing, not knowing anything. And yeah, they are getting under some people's skins, but at the end of the day, if Microsoft approves that they have hardware, sorry, software, come this E3, then that takes the win out of the sails of that narrative going forward. And so
it has been so hard this entire generation. Like games were coming out like crazy, and then even with games like Scalebound, right? Scalebound, they were showing like new gameplay and stuff like that, and people were critiquing the hell out of it. And then all of a sudden, it got canceled. And when it got canceled, those same critics that were like, I'm not buying that trash. Look at that trash. Look what they're doing here. Look what they're doing there. Were the same people who were like, well, that was the only game I was going to buy. Bitch, right. You weren't going to buy shit,
man. That's only me and Brad style. Come on, man.
But I'm saying, though, that's for real. You weren't going to buy anything. I don't need your opinion and your lies, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Bitch.
Yeah.
But
I'm serious, this generation, it has been horrible when it comes to the fanboy business and the people expressing opinions, and they're not expressing opinions to actually see the game get better or anything like that. They're expressing opinions because they feel that their piece of plastic is superior no matter what, and they're trying to drive a narrative, and that's all they're trying to do. They don't give two shits about the game.
At the end of the day, their voices are all messed up, right? Like there's no consistency that's going on there. So people are listening to these people less and less, and they do create some noise in the ether, right? But at the end of the day, like when you look at those sort of people, they're like, yeah, I can't take you seriously. Like either people is going to fight directly back against them, or they're just not going to bother with them. And so they're becoming less and less relevant come with time. So
I got you, man. I got you. Predator, what do you think about all this, man? I need to take a minute. I'm gonna vape me some Rice Krispie treats real quick. What do you think about the Phil Spencer? Yeah, I'm vaping on the Rice Krispie treats flavor. It's absolutely amazing. What do you think about Phil's response? Do you think it was well said? Do you think he could have said more? Should he have gotten a little gully, a little gangster? What do you think, man?
He should have been like, "Look, bitch." Shit takes fucking time.
Yes.
Your ass calm your tits. No, I mean, I think what he said was spot on. He didn't say anything that wasn't true. It does take time to make games. Phil's been there 2013-ish, so we should start seeing the Phil games here pretty soon. I'm hoping this is the E3 that he brings out.
Well, it was.
Well, pray they'll tell you that Phil has been there since the beginning, though. There'll be some that'll tell you that Phil's been there.
Yo, Mega, check out this SSX, man. I don't think my ass hits the snow once.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Because there was a glitch when you hit that damn tunnel. I saw that trash.
I knew you were gonna point that shit out.
But yeah, I mean, I think Phil said what he needed to say, and this is I give a lot of Xbox guys, this is their E3 where they're gonna either jump ship or just be like, man, fuck it, like I think there's a line drawn and saying I think this E3 is it for a lot of people.
I mean, everybody, their opinion is their opinion. Where they spend their money on, that's on them. Like this whole doom and gloom thing that I've been hearing, like from 2017 even up to now, me personally, I don't feel like it's warranted, man. I don't know. I have had a great time on the Xbox platform this generation, and I feel like a lot of there's people in the Xbox community that are listening to a pony narrative that is kind of like overflowing, and there's a piece of the Xbox community that's following a pony narrative now.
And that's exactly what those guys in the Sony side, that's what they want.
That's what they want. That's exactly what they want.
But the thing is, Microsoft isn't doing a really good job of preventing that from happening when you drop out, I won't say dog shit, but lackluster titles throughout the year. And again, Sea of Thieves isn't for everybody. I enjoyed it. You delay couple of games, you cancel a couple of games, at least this big gap, and when you don't talk about anything, a lot of people are just like, a lot of I won't say casuals, but I guess that's the best way to say it. Some of the people that are kind of on the fence are kind of leaning towards going the other side of the fence.
Let me ask you this, Fred. So do you think the double A's and the indies may have hurt Microsoft more than they've helped?
No, not at all. Because the thing is, the double A's they're picking up they've been really, really good double A's, like Ori, Cuphead. They've been acclaimed, award-winning games. PUBG. I mean, even they kind of had to work a drug deal to get the game on the system, but it's there and it ain't on the competing console right now. So until that becomes an announcement, then right now the only way you're going to play it on a console is on Xbox. So I mean, they've worked a couple of drug deals and got some things done to kind of keep the ship, selling.
I love that they work some drug deals.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I call it. I mean, like they went out and they acquired something they needed to get. I mean, that's the thing. Like we asked them to get we need this game. We need this game. I can think of a couple other PC games that could easily come over to Xbox that I think would kind of help boost it. They got H1Z1 coming out, I think this year. That might, spark a little bit if it's only on Xbox, but like people aren't flocking to Xbox for those games. No one's going out and buying an Xbox just for Cuphead. No one's going out and buying an Xbox just for Ori. PUBG might have done.
I don't know. By the end of it, if Ori 2 is as good or better than the first one, people will start buying the console for
I think
Ori.
They're going to need a little bit more than Ori. I'm
just saying though, like Ori, the first one was just that damn good.
It was a great game. I bought that in the definitive edition. But I'm just saying, like, when we were on that last topic, we need a WoW game. We need like a game that's going to be like,
World of War.
I hate to say God of War, but that's a game that some people are buying a console for. I mean, I'm particularly one. I got my PlayStation 4 for God of War, and because I got it before God of War came out, I was able to enjoy some of the other exclusives on PlayStation.
So you're talking WoW game that is exclusive, because we've had WoW games.
Yes.
We have stuff showing off, because we have to clarify there, because that's when people are like, they're kind of scratching their head. We've had WoW games, but it's that one where this is the only place you can play it.
Exactly.
As a product.
We need a new franchise, or maybe even, I mean, I would say Gears was one that kind of brought some people over.
Another new big franchise.
Yes, we need another new franchise. And I think Fable could, even if it's not new, but the reboot for Fable, if they drop that here, I doubt it's coming this year. But if it does,
that's like 2020,
miraculously, yeah. But if that game was coming out, if there was a Fable 4 coming out this year, that could be that game that people are like, I've got to get an Xbox for. But right now, we don't have that because we don't know what the fuck Microsoft has cooking. So we all kind of forced to wait till E3.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too. Is like, this talk didn't really pick any traction until maybe late February about all that sort of stuff, and that's when people start, the doubts start getting into people's heads, about what they may have this E3. So yeah, it is on Microsoft to prove what they've been working on. In regards to that, and I'm a big fan of, the whole idea where they're going with this. But if they are going to go the route and announce further out than just this year, you got to make sure you commit. I think that's one of my things Microsoft has to do. Is if you decide to show out more than a year's out, you got to have products you're not going to cancel or push back.
I don't think the Xbox fans are gonna go for another fucking cancellation again.
No, they're not.
I won't. I totally like Z offered me. I'm sorry, but yeah, Z offered me a pony package.
We lost you, man. We lost you, man.
Where is he? He'll come back. He went.
You signed the deal. Is what you did.
He drove through a tunnel, man. Is what happened.
He's not supposed to mention the pony package and
Okay, did I'm about.
All right, yeah, we need to hear what's in this package, dude. We didn't get to hear that. Oh.
Every time you guys talk about this package, he goes away.
Guys, if you want to know about that package, just tweet K-Mega on Twitter. It's at K-Mega4.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Nice package too.
Okay. Anyway, so
did you just say what I thought you said, Brad?
What did you say?
Everyone just rewind that and
hashtag nice package.
So anyway,
nice
stop being nasty. Stop being nasty. Anyway, so it was because he brought up the fact about a cancellation. They're going to cancel. He's over here thinking that they were going to cancel Crackdown, right? And I said I couldn't take another cancellation. Scalebound was hard enough on me, but I couldn't take another. You know what I'm saying? As much as I've been anticipating for Crackdown 3, and they cancel that, I would be very, very upset. And so that's when he offered the package, which was a PlayStation Pro, a year of PlayStation, a year of PSN, and 7 games. And I said, "Oh shit, that's pretty impressive."
Damn, can he throw in a reinforced controller though? Because
but hold on, but then like some of the PlayStation dudes on multiplayer Thursday was saying, "L Mega, you'll be W Mega. Come and sign the package. Sign it. You'll be P Mega then." What the man? Anyway, I'm an P Mega. Yeah, PlayStation. Fuck out of here. I'm an Xbox dude.
I'm an Xbox dude.
I think K-Mega's under an NDA is what's going on.
Yo, Don, this is bringing me back to the time where he actually joined. Remember when he joined the show when he was in his car?
Yes.
Man, I don't know what the hell is going on with this, man. I don't know if I need.
Yeah, I think it's time, guys. I think it's time to wrap it up. Yo, the microphone is talking on K-Mega side. He's saying it's time to wrap it up. Yo, huge shout out to the near 90 people that were watching today. Yo, it's been an awesome show. Remember to slap that like button. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, definitely subscribe. We are here every Saturday at 7 p.m. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, man, we gotta get those plugs in, and we'll start with K-Mega. So this way, yo.
Speaking of plugs, K-Mega.
He can give his microphone a rest here. So, yo, Mega, why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you and what you've been up to, dude?
Hey man, yeah, guys, hit that like button, and big shout out on Mixer, Suitors 1991. Oh, you know that. And he said the package must contain some of those PS4 updates with a hacker included. Damn right. Damn right. So anyway, you can catch me on the GRG podcast every Friday night after Crossfire. If you sorry bastards be listening to Crossfire, you better listen to the GRG podcast, no doubt about that. Anyway, there's a new show that we have for our Patreon fans, is the GRG Uncut. Of course, got the Dev and the Gamer. We will do something.
Dude, how much more uncut can you get though?
Oh no, because what Uncut? Because see, we got so many people on GRG for the original members that I can't add a guest. So Uncut is going to be bringing guests.
Nice.
So we'll have a whole bunch of different perspectives from a whole bunch of people. So it's not going to be wild and crazy, but it's just going to be, we'll get to have different people's opinions on there with a couple of the GRG panel on there as well. And I think that's the one. What'd you say? What?
Yo, Sith Lord said your mic, Mega, is like the crack in missing parts.
I know, man. What the hell's? I don't know what the hell's going on with my mic.
Yo,
anyway,
that's rough. That might be the quote of the night in the chat.
It is. Also, you can catch me on BGST whenever we have it. The Dev and the Gamer. Big shout out to that. And man, yeah, whenever I drop on my channel, K-Mega405, go hit that sub sub button. Let's get the quest to get over 2,000 subs this year, and then let's go ahead and just follow me on Twitter as well, K-Mega4, and big shout out to Intro Media Gaming. I think that's it. Hot damn,
nice man.
Right,
yo, it went so smooth. You shocked yourself, man.
I did. I usually stumbling, but we good. Let's go.
Nice. Yo, Predator, as always, man, you had opinions on the topics today. You were not afraid to share it. Dude, I love what you bring to this panel and to this show. Why don't you let the fans know exactly where they can get a hold of you, man?
Predator_H2OS on Xbox, on PlayStation 4, on Steam. I've been playing a lot of PC lately. Also on Switch, if you guys want to follow me on my YouTube channel, which I have not dropped any content in a while. It's Predator_HQ on that as well. Obviously here, and I've been on a couple other podcasts this last week, but just hit me up anywhere and I'll play games with you anytime. So
he is the gaming podcast sixth man. You know, he is on every show that will invite him, and like it is awesome to see him on so many different shows and stuff like that. Man, you're doing an incredible job, dude. Dude, how are you gonna do it? I went cartoon. I showed what great games look like, you know, cartoony, and I think I'm gonna win that whole you know, gameplay vote. But that's just me. Yo, Don, man, why don't you let people know where they can start conversations with you in terms of gaming, game development, and what you've been up to, man?
Yeah, the best way to get to know what I'm doing is follow me on Twitter, which is @TheDon_KTR. My gamer tag is the same thing, just no underscore. And let me break down the Dev and the Gamer, what me and K-Mega have come to an agreement on, what's going on there. Because a lot of people watch our shows, also watch BGST.
Yes.
BGST is scheduled to be on Sundays. But if you notice, it doesn't happen.
You would think that, yeah.
if you notice, it doesn't always happen every Sunday. So what me and K-Mega has planned is basically, if BGST's plug has been pulled on Sunday, you'll send me the dawn signal, and we're gonna do the Dev and the Gamer right then and there. So if you notice BGST is not up and going, keep an eye out on K-Mega's Twitter handle or mine, and you'll see the Dev and the Gamer, and you'll have something to be entertained that day.
Nice. And I just want to let people know, the Don signal is actually a shadow puppet of a stack of ribs, and you just shine it into the sky, and the Don answers the call. So, and on that note, you know me, guys. I am King Neutral, Xbot448. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I am looking at that 4,000 follower mark. I'm getting up there, guys. It's been a blast. I absolutely love the community. I love talking games. I put a bunch of random stuff on Twitter as well. So, definitely follow me on there. But it is Saturday night, guys, and the gamers got a game. They got to get the controllers in their hands. So I'm going to say it like I say it every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace. What are we streaming tonight? Because I'm not going to do Halo Night tonight. What are we doing?
Determination to conquer all my ambitions, despite all the conditions. In light of my past decisions, made it to this position, and so my disposition, not seeing no limits, killing it.